Any pants, film at 11.
That's a horrible, horrible visual. But none of us are wearing
Yes, it
pants.
is.
That's what people don't know.
We don't.
You can only see us from the neck, yeah, from the was it the
We're on
waist
the
up.
air. We're on the air. Breaking news.
Well, you have no idea that if we're wearing full clothes. I could be wearing lounge pants right now for all these people now. Yeah. Huh?
Nobody out there cares what
Yeah.
we are wearing except for Lola.
Yeah. That's all, man.
Not that Lola was supposed to care, but everybody out there cares what Lola is wearing.
Yeah, the fuzzy pants. Yeah.
Fuzzy
Hello,
pants.
everybody out there. Hello, hello, hello. This is actually it's not Tuesday. Do not adjust your calendars. Don't look at your computer to try to figure out what time it is or your phone. It
This
is
isn't
9 o'clock.
Tuesday. What the
No,
heck?
it's Monday, but we are discussing the situation with Arrow. I was kidding. No, not
With
Arrow
who?
Comics. Arrow
Arrow
Comics.
Comics.
Arrow Comics told you this is gonna happen. They told
I,
you years ago. No,
years ago.
I want to say
Yes.
something. We told you. Negro Damas was right again.
Nick Thomas.
I told you. Ooh.
I
I
do have.
looked. I looked into my Iron Man 8 ball. I shook it, and I asked it the question. Actually, I had Lola shake it,
Will Diamond go down this year?
and the ratings went up. And he says targeting a yes.
Targeting a
See,
yes.
that's what he said. You probably can't tell, but he says targeting a yes. And
How
all
about
you had to do was listen to me and good old Tony Stark. He loves you 3,000.
we
But
do
you
have
didn't
a
listen.
we do have a special hookup now with the Valiant offices. Can we connect?
Sure.
There's nobody there.
That's that's really messed up. That's why. That's a horrible joke at my expense. Um, you know what's funny is
Apparently, somebody said F capitalism. Everybody went home.
that.
This is what happens when you don't care about capitalism.
I
Welcome.
guess. Look at that. There's
Well,
nobody there.
we should talk about it, guys. So
Isn't that bloodshot on the wall there?
no, that's
Anyway.
not Mr. Sinister.
Okay.
So if in case you haven't heard, um, Diamond today announced that they are shuttering for a couple of weeks for the foreseeable future. This doesn't seem like a
Oh
this,
no. Where did you get a couple of weeks? Did they say a couple of weeks?
Well, no, but I'm trying to be optimistic.
What's the official announcement? Can we have
They-
the official announcement?
They didn't give a date.
Do we have to jump over to Bleeding Fool in order to get it, or Bleeding Uncool, or whatever?
You can. We can jump
Dick.
over there.
Dick Johnson.
I believe it was indefinitely.
Indefinitely. That's a heavy word.
Um,
That's no plan to return.
That's
Well-
we'll come back whenever we damn well please. That's pretty much what it is.
okay.
Yep.
Well. Let's. I mean,
Whoa! What?
we have to. They have to come back at some point. I mean,
Do they?
the optimist in me says they have to. I'm Optimus Prime.
They do. They should if we want a sustainable direct market, because they've set themselves up as the only funnel, in the tool shed, and they don't come back.
I do want to read to you guys. I mean, Diamond's owner, Steve Jeppy, confirmed the closure and said that there's no new comics after this week. Now, that was the headline that went out. So there wasn't like a lot of.
Wait a minute. Did he say no new comics after this week?
That was one of the headlines sent out from Bleeding Cool.
That wasn't what I understood. I understood that they were going to distribute the comics that were on their way, and the
Well, it's
comics
after
that they
this
had
weekend.
in house.
Yeah, well, after this week, yeah. I have no idea.
Now are they only
Maybe
going
they're
to
not accepting anymore after this week.
They're not accepting anymore now, is what they said.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
that doesn't mean that, and we all know Diamond's rules don't hold for Marvel and DC. And Marvel and DC are both really big ships that have projects that are rolling months in advance.
Mhm.
Now, all of those books coming from the printer, are they still going to land at Diamond and
Well,
get distributed out to the
from
shops?
from what I understand, they've told the printers no more books. Don't send anything here, and they're probably not picking up anything because Diamond does have special uh, deals with other companies where they will go pick up the books from those companies.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
probably won't be doing that either. Nick Gibson says someone else will fill the void or Turner.
Not
Uh,
immediately.
mhm.
Nope.
But let's let everybody know who we are real quick. Hello, everybody out there.
Hello,
I am
hello.
Varian Grant. I am the best ever. No, I we are here special. It's a special show, so we all kind of seem a little bit off of our usual game. Um, this is Indie Volt. Indie Volt is a station committed, yes, committed to bringing you independent news or independent comic news. And we are here because today in our industry something happened. So my name is Varian Grant. I'm joined by Lola. Lola, give him a wave. And of course, Mr. Randy Zimmerman,
Hey,
who's here with
everybody.
us every week, and Rob Anderson. And we'll have a few other people jump in too, who I'm sure want to weigh in throughout the night
I,
on the
I,
situation.
I hope you don't mind. I just sent Scott Rosema a link.
That's fine. That's fine. Um, uh, a lot of people are concerned, rightfully so, in our industry because, I mean, if you don't know, Diamond has had I'm gonna say it because Randy won't say it politely. A foothold on the
I won't.
industry and how
I
people
won't.
get the books.
I won't say it politely.
No, and how people get the books for years. Better part
I
of 2 decades now.
I attended that brisk 30 years, or yeah, about 30 years ago,
Yeah,
when they became the only one in town.
and you know, and now today they've announced that they are no longer going to distribute new comics for the, can we say, foreseeable future?
No,
No.
no,
Okay,
that's not the word they
indefinitely,
used.
indefinitely.
They didn't say foreseeable future. They said indefinitely.
Indefinitely. And if you are a publisher of comics who has a deal with Diamond, that is very, very alarming. It's also alarming even if you don't have a deal with Diamond because, on top of that, there's no conventions for the,
Yeah,
indefinitely. There's no
indefinitely.
conventions. So where in the hell are we supposed to make money?
Well, you keep seeing them get postponed or canceled and shoved down the road a bit. But I want to know more about Diamond because they're not making themselves very clear here about what
Hmm.
they're doing. Outside of the fact they're not taking any more new comics.
Yeah.
Are they taking
Um.
new? Are they still taking those comics in the pipeline? Like I said,
Well.
because the way a lot of these retailers work, and if you've been in retailing or have any experience in retailing, I'm sure you can back this up. They literally run from week to week. They get their books in, and they have to cover the diamond bill from the week
Hmm.
before they get those books in. They have to cover the bill for that week. Most of them do. Some of them have a line of credit that I don't know if Diamond still holds to that or not, but a lot of the smaller accounts and mom and pop stores have to pay for those books before they get the next shipment in.
Hmm.
So this shipment, if they're coming into any of these states that are already closed down for non-essential businesses,
Hmm.
unless they can get people to drive by somehow and pick up their books, they're in a tight spot.
Well,
So then what does
the
that
thing.
happen with next week? Is Diamond going to ship out another shipment next week from other books that are in transit that are coming in,
Well, we
or
can
other
dig.
books that they have in the warehouse still it usually takes Diamond a couple of weeks to get some of these books out to people.
Well,
We
what did
can.
the official statement say from
Okay, so
the
yeah, yeah. Let me dig into that. So this is what happens. So Steve Jeppy, who is the owner of Diamond, released a statement. He says everyone knows the world faces ever increasing challenge related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Its effects on the comics and collectibles and tabletop gaming industries have been felt far and wide. We are hearing from thousands of retailers that they can no longer service their customers as they have in the past. Many of them forced to close by government action or resort to in-person or curbside delivery. Even those still open are seeing reduced foot traffic in most cases, a situation that seems likely to worsen with time. Our publishing partners are also faced with numerous issues in their supply chain, working with creators, printers, and increasing uncertainty when it comes to the production and delivery of products for us to distribute. Our freight networks are feeling the strain and are already experiencing delays, while our distribution centers in New York, California, and Pennsylvania were all closed late last week. Our own home office in Maryland instituted a work from home policy, and experts say that we can expect further closures. Therefore, my only logical conclusion is to cease the distribution of new weekly product until there is a greater clarity on the progress made toward stemming the spread of this disease. He goes on to say the effects on Diamond comic distributors. Product distributed by Diamond and slated for an on sale date of April 1st or later will not be shipped to retailers until further notice.
Well, this is the 23rd.
Yeah.
So that still gives them 2 weeks of shipment. These retailers that are scrimping by literally week to week. It's going to give them 2 shipments that they're going to have to eat.
Further, for the time being, however, we have been able to develop procedures with our teams at the distribution center in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Is that Mississippi? Yeah.
Are you sure it's not Maryland?
No.
Or Memphis, Tennessee?
No, because MS is Mississippi. Right?
MS?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yeah, MS would be Mississippi, I think.
Yeah, to safely continue fulfillment of direct ship reorders for the retailers who are able to receive new product and need it to service their customers. Sorry. It's unlikely that orders will be filled on the same day they are placed, and these plans are subject to change if at any point we no longer feel that we can safeguard our teams while fulfilling orders. Product distributed by Diamond UK and slated for an on-sale date of March 25th or later will not be shipped to retailers. So the UK, you're done until further notice. Further updates with regard to pre-orders, reorders, and other Diamond UK specific information will be communicated directly to their customers as information becomes available. Now here's the last bit of it. Effects on the Alliance game distributors. Products distributed by Alliance has been shipping from the Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Austin, Texas warehouses. Both are closing at the end of the day on March 24th in the interest of employee safety and to comply with direction from local governments. Any orders not shipped at that time will not be processed until further notice. Your dedicated sales team will still be working remotely and will help you with any orders you'd like to place today or questions you may have. Our shared path forward. With these changes in our distribution strategy, we will work with our publishing partners to develop programs that will address products already in the pipeline and what will happen when we resume distribution. We know that during this time, you will face many challenges, and we will direct our energies toward addressing them rather than fighting on increasingly numerous fronts to get product out. For those retailers who remain open in various forms, I encourage you to let loose your own creativity. For the time being, you will be able to replenish your perennials from Diamond and or Alliance, but you should also remember the stock you already have in your stores. If your doors remain open, it's likely you will have customers who will continue to seek diversion from events of the world. Special sales, promotions, and even eBay can help you bring in cash during this trying time. Product for which you've been paid may well hold some of your answers. There have been many solid suggestions offered about how to help our retailers, and we will bring many of them together in future communications. Besides the industry's most immediate needs, we have been and will continue looking forward to the future when we see stores reopening, bringing staff back on board, and getting customers in the door. We are looking at issues like debt accrued due to this crisis, what reduced ordering means for your discount tiers, and the availability of credit to help stores through this after the difficult time. We don't have all the answers today, but we understand that many issues you are facing and look forward to addressing them as partners who all have an interest in the long-term health of the industry we love so much. As I mentioned in my last update, this industry has been one of the greatest joys in my life, from my days as a collector to a retailer to today. I and my leadership team have made these decisions knowing full well the effect they will have on all of you, as well as our publishing partners and our own team members around the world. At the end of the day, the safety and security of our teams and yours, along with the many customers we all serve, is paramount. I again thank you for your ongoing patience and support. Thank you. So that's a lot to read.
That's a lot better response than what I had read earlier.
So. We're joined by Larry. Hello, Larry.
So what did I miss? What was that statement you just read? Because I didn't hear any of that.
Is that a full hazmat suit?
Are you in a hazmat suit?
Listen, I'm getting ready for COVID-19. I got a mask over there. I got goggles. I'm ready to rock and roll in the post-apocalypse, boys.
They no that's a statement from Steve
Yeah, but
Jeppy.
what did they say? I missed it because I was trying too busy to get in. I didn't hear any of it.
It said
It
they're
was
they're stopping comics as of this week.
Yeah. But you guys were saying 2 weeks and definitely this, that, and
No,
the other thing.
they're not coming back online for a while, is what they said. They're
yeah.
indefinitely suspending everything, and they're not taking any new comics.
So does this count like Marvel and DC?
Yeah.
Apparently,
So how does Marvel and DC get their books out then?
they don't.
Okay, so here's why they did that, because every comic shop is closing down their doors. You have no one to send books to, right? So I went to my comic shop the other day, and I was like the last guy to get in, man. I bought a whole bunch of bags and boards to send out Niobes, and they basically said, yeah, we're shutting down, and we don't know if we're coming back. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And left, right, and center, you see shops closing down due to COVID-19. So it makes no surprise that Diamond will at least take a break or stop for a little bit because they have no one to send books to.
Well, Michigan got the full shutdown order today. So did Louisiana.
Right. So if you got no one to send books to, why would you be operating and
Yeah.
why would you be in business?
Well, there's still states out there that are open, but
Only for now, and we're talking a
Only for
handful.
no, there's a lot more than you think.
There's
At
over
least here
30
in the States. I don't know how the provinces are working up in Canada.
We have over 40 states that barely are reporting the virus.
Yeah.
Every single province in Canada is on a state of emergency. That's what we are.
Nope. There are some states that only have 2 or 3 cases.
Yeah.
If that, there are some states that don't have anything reported yet at all.
No. They're all reported finally.
Are they?
Yeah, but it's 2 or 3, and it's usually outsiders that are brought in that are
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
It's not them themselves. So there are states that are fully functioning right now.
So the question, I guess, is: was this a decision that was made overnight, or has this been in the works for a good month? Because you would think that if Marvel and DC had a heads up on this, they wouldn't be advertising things like the new Warriors to us, right?
No, you'd think so. Unless
Yeah,
they just
oh,
want to
would
get
they?
people stirred up before they walk out the door.
Like the ultimate troll is the way I've heard it.
Kind of like a final flip off as they walk out.
right?
Yeah.
Mark Hyder says most of the shops in my area are now closed.
Well,
Yeah,
they're
they're all
definitely
starting to
closed
shut
now.
down.
As of midnight, everybody got the Amber Alert around here on our phones,
Mhm.
telling
Well, let
us
me
that
ask you,
we can't
Rick.
leave unless it's an emergency.
Randy, me and you kind of talked about this a little bit, and I truly think this might be a way out for Marvel and DC. I think if they want out from underneath the thumb, and I'd suggested that they might look for partners to partner with to take on some of their printing debt to maybe share the cost of it, maybe team up with an IDW with a different distribution model. Do you think that's possible? Because, I mean, they're violating the contract, whether or not why they're doing it. Like we said, there are many states that aren't under
What
emergency right now.
what contract are you talking about that they're violating?
My understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is they're only allowed to print through Diamond. They have exclusive.
No, distribute through
Distribute,
Diamond.
sorry.
They can get it printed anywhere.
No, but
Yeah.
distributing, even I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Do you think that they might team up with a different distributor now that this has happened? Does that help them out of this contract that seems to be killing our industry?
No, the contract they have with Diamond goes directly to the retail shops. They're allowed to distribute anywhere that they want to try it, and that's why DC's have bumped into Walmart's. Marvel subcontracted out to Archie in order to get into the grocery stores with the little digests. They're still constantly trying to get out from away and around the retail shops in order to get comics out to other people than what go into those shops.
Look, and I'm sure there are some phone calls made before this decision came down. I'm sure Marvel and DC are both contacted by Diamond and said, "Hey, this is what's happening, and this is how it's going down." I don't think that that they were shocked and learned about the announcement like we did online. I'm sure there were phone calls made and discussions had long before this was announced.
Oh yeah, it was probably earlier last week that they were told about the time that Marvel put out all those press releases. Hey, America Chavez is coming back, and we got this new Warriors book coming.
But if there is going to be a reshuffling in the comic book industry, now is when you're going to see it.
I would not be surprised that that Marvel and DC knew about this months ago or no weeks ago. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if most of the companies knew about it who ordered those pencils down. They knew about it. They knew this was coming.
Yeah,
But-
maybe, but Eric Stevenson wouldn't have released that press release if he knew that that Diamond was going to stop shipments the next week.
But let me say this: I also believe that there are some publishers who got caught with their pants down, and there's a lot of very nervous people right now concerned about how they're going to get their books out and what's coming. You
Well-
got because the thing is, I know you got publishers out there right now who were advertising, books for 2 weeks out from now. And things you could order outside of previews books.
Yep.
A lot. I mean, I know a bunch of comic creators, so they put their Diamond Previews codes in their tweets or in their statuses.
Yeah.
They didn't know. It's clear they didn't know, or their bosses were hiding information from them.
Well,
So-
keep in mind too that the way the retail shops work, these are books that Diamond is not sending to them that the retailers ordered 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So all of these other smaller publishers, no, they definitely have their preview code and all of that, and they're expecting previews to come out. They weren't expecting the virus to kick up.
Now
Yeah.
you know what's it's odd, and I've said this before on the show. I had back in Randy. When did I? Was it? Oh gosh, was it January? I first started pounding my fist about COVID-19 and messing up my business. Like I didn't mention it on the show, obviously, because I try to keep my publishing and the show separate.
Oh yeah. You mean you were having a rough time getting books in, yeah.
Yeah. And it was I was upset, but
Yeah.
I understood people, and I remember I said, well, people are losing their lives in China. I understand. I'm not going to get too. I'm upset, but it was an issue for me then, and I had I told people, hey, look, this is happening, and I don't know how this is going to affect us, and I was told by people, hey, I don't. It's not affecting me yet. It's not affecting me. It's not my problem. And it's just funny because now you look at it. It's a couple weeks later, and it's a global problem now.
I got news for Ralph. They already canceled Free Comic Book Day.
They're postponing it. They're going to have it later in the year. Is what they said.
Yeah,
but
I think
we'll see what happens.
Supposed to be later in May, if at all. Cons are rescheduled.
It ain't going to make later in May. That ain't going to happen.
Was it MegaCon just announced new dates? MegaCon said June 21st, 22nd.
No. June 4th. As a matter of fact, people are arguing online whether or not that's even going to be possible.
That's
because
not
of how
gonna happen.
close.
Look, they're canceling the Olympics will be canceled. Team Canada already pulled
Well,
out.
the Olympics, the Olympics have already been pushed back a year. They
So-
announced that earlier today.
So anything that's going to happen in the summer, any of these like tentative plans, like maybe it'll happen in June or July. Yeah, you can count that out. You know what I mean?
I disagree, and
I disagree with you, Rob. It's
that's cool.
it's all wrong, man.
Okay. You're also going around saying this is Armageddon, which I completely disagree with.
Oh no, it's
There is a difference between how we look at this. We've survived the Spanish flu. We've survived the Black Plague. We have survived.
Whoa! What did my people have to do with the plague?
I think you're taking it way too lightly, Rob.
I'm just kidding. I just hit Spanish flu, Black Plague. Like, wait, we did the plague? Is that us now?
We're in a world pandemic, sir.
Different
It's time to
shape,
get with
buddy.
the times.
Yeah, we're a pandemic, not the end of the world, not Armageddon. You know how many people have actually died versus the population right now, Larry?
Dude, how many people have been infected? So
200,000 when we have billions.
Okay, and so when the influenza flu or the swine flu started off, was that many people affected that quickly too, Rob? Because I
Yes,
bet
and
the
more
answer
people
is
died.
different.
And more people died.
Let's bring up the statistics. 'Cause I think you're talking out of your ass. But
Go
honestly.
for it. There's Google. Go get them.
Because Google is always the most reliable source.
Well, find what you think is reliable.
I would like to know how come there has been to this date, because we've all said, a lot of people are saying that Diamond closing down is going to be the end of the comic industry. I've heard people say that's it for I've heard people say that's it for Diamond. That's it for Valiant. That's it for Image. Excuse me. I've heard people say that's it for Aspen. I love Aspen because it's Michael Turner's company. But if you're an indie publisher right now, Randy, you've dealt with Diamond. Would you be concerned? About what's going on? Would you be worried?
Well, I sincerely hope that the Diamond of 2020 is not the Diamond that I was dealing with back in 2003. because they were hard-nosed and nasty back then. And now, from what I understand, they're a lot more pliable and they're a lot more willing to work with alternative and independent companies because they're seeing the fact that they need every dollar that they can possibly get their hands on. And plus, that press release that you read is a lot more satisfying to me because they really sound like they want to work with the retailers, and that's the big link here in this chain that is stretched at its ends. Diamond has always had the power. They've always had that gatekeeping. They've always been the tight end of that funnel, but it's the retailer is the weak link in that chain to get this product out to the consumer. And Diamond has got to be willing to work with each and every retailer, probably from the way it sounds, thankfully, on an independent basis in order to try to keep that retailer as above water as possible. So that's the only way a lot of these shops are ever going to survive because they are literally running week to week.
Now,
A lot of these mom and pop stores are.
here's a gentleman who
Mr. Rosenbaum.
who's had many of his books distributed by Diamond. His work for Marvel, his work for DC,
Yes.
his work for Archie.
He's working
Uh,
Valiant.
Yeah,
Valiant.
Valiant. Yeah, if you had a lot of your work distributed
Pencils
with these
down.
companies. Yeah, pencils down. Put your pencils down, Mr. Roseman. Stop drawing. Kiss those royalty checkers goodbye, sir. None of your shit's coming out.
I beg to differ. All of my shit is going out. That's exactly what they're.
It's going out just fine. Thank you very much.
Are you heard it? You've been following this, Scott?
Yeah. It's interesting that I don't want to cast any kind of a pale over this, but it seems, it takes something like this to get Diamond to say, "Okay, we're going to do something that's really going to try and help the industry." Well, you frickin' should be doing that every day for years now, but now apparently, they're going. I don't quite understand it. I haven't been following it close enough. You were just saying something about it, Randy, and what exactly is Diamond doing that they say will help the industry, and do we believe it?
Well, in
They're
their press,
they're like cutting. They're giving everybody a bigger percentage or something. Is that it?
no, in their press release, they said they're stopping their shipment of products as of this week. Done.
Oh, I don't-
Indefinitely.
indefinitely.
Yes.
They're not even putting a cap on the time frame.
Well, no. They did say 2 weeks. They said till
Where
April.
did you see that? The
Right
word
there.
that
It said April 5th, right? If I'm not mistaken.
no, they said that anything coming out before April 1st will go out. After that, they're done indefinitely.
Yeah, so
He
is
says-
that 2 Wednesdays, if I'm not mistaken, or is that one? What was
I think it's only one. I said
Yeah.
2 earlier, but I'm pretty sure it's only one.
Yeah,
They're-
because it says
they're-
Because today's the 23rd.
Yeah. So we only have what?
One more week.
April 1st to be the 2nd.
So they're going to stop shipment of product technically until when? The 16th of April?
There is no startup
there-
date.
there's no startup date.
I'm
It's
looking for that
indefinitely.
now. I'm researching into it.
Now, are they saying indefinitely until they know better, or does it? I mean, they're not shutting down altogether forever,
They're not
are they?
saying. They're not saying. No, they are saying they're coming back,
Yeah, they said
but
they'll
they
be
don't
back.
know when.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. Which, if you got to get your if you're in the funny book business and you want to get it on store shelves, that's pretty scary.
That ain't happening for a while.
Yeah.
and now most comic shops, matter of fact, probably a lot of comic shops, most probably, are going to be closed. So they're literally you can't get to the shelves anyway.
Yeah.
So not having new product, it's a moot point.
Well,
Depending upon the state. Up here, they will be closed. Here in Michigan, they're done.
And the states that aren't complying to this kind of a safety valve that's trying to be created.
Well,
Hey,
every state has their own safety valve.
Okay, so what are the ones that aren't doing any shutdowns? Is it like Oklahoma and
The ones in the middle, yeah.
Okay.
California, Washington, and New York are in dire straits. There's another half a dozen states that are looking like it's going to get bad. We're one of them.
Florida.
They've shut down completely. Florida, Louisiana has shut down.
Yeah,
No.
we're we're getting it. We're getting it pretty bad where our medical resources are now being tested, and we might have hospital failure.
All right,
The
so
actual- the
That's
place-
why they're shutting. That's why they're shutting everything down.
here's what
People to stay in place.
Newsarama is saying: effects on Diamond comic distributors. Product distribution by Diamond is slated for an on-sale date of April 1st or later will not be shipped to retailers until further notice. So there's your date, further notice.
Yeah.
For the time being, however, we're able to develop procedures with our teams at Distributor Center in all the branch MS to safely continue fulfillment of direct ship reorders for the retailers who are able to receive new product and need it to service their customers. It is unlikely that the orders will be filled out on the same day they are placed, and these plans are subject to change if at any point we no longer feel that we can safeguard our teams while fulfilling orders. Product distributed by Diamond UK and slated for an on-sale date of March 25th or later will not be shipped to retailers until further notice. Further updates with regard to reorders and Diamond information will be communicated directly to their customers as information becomes available. So basically, everything is slated till further notice.
Yeah,
And-
that's because England is on full lockdown. Nobody,
Yeah.
they don't want anybody to move anywhere.
Yeah, Diamond's not moving
absolutely
anything in
essential.
the UK right now.
Because they're scared to death. They've got another Spain or Italy over in England.
Trico says judgment told
Oh, yeah.
Wow, this is the apocalypse. He can't get any toilet paper. We're sorry, Trike.
Keep looking. There's
Also-
still plenty of sources for paper that you can use
Yeah.
if you need it.
Trico says, let me read that. Nick says, if we can survive hearing a shrill voice, we can survive literally anything. Mark says,
Wait, ask Nick to show us his books again. That'll get rid of him for half an hour.
But it can also cause septic shock. So let's not go that far. I think we gotta gotta
Just do what I'm doing. Take a shower. Every poop means a shower. That's it.
oh,
So this is interesting. This is also from Bleeding Cool. This is, we also know that Transcontinental Printing, the main Canadian printer of DC Comics and countless other publishers, is shutting down for 3 weeks. And that Canadian provinces of Quebec and Ontario are closing all non-essential business by the end of tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I knew that. So DC Comics and a lot of other people do print their comic books here in Canada.
Yeah.
And that printer is shutting down for a minimum 3 weeks.
yeah.
Ontario is probably in the same situation that Michigan is. They're watching their numbers jump, their deaths jump, so they're just going to shut the entire province down
Varian called that about 2 weeks ago.
for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said this was going to happen. You said Canada was going to be the next one to close after China.
Yep. Let me see here. It's the thing is with these closures, and they're gonna, it's gonna keep getting worse. There's a big supply chain in there that if one link fails, it's all kind of screwy. Everything goes picks up. And
No.
what?
Well, I was going to say, the thing is about a lot of the nature of what we're going through is that a lot of people immediately, of course, were concerned, and probably still are we going to be able to still physically get through all this, have enough food to eat and the electricity to work on? I know here in Michigan, they've suspended all shutoffs for non-payment of bills and all that. So
Yeah.
I think hopefully a lot of us are feeling good that we're not going to experience a power outage on top of everything else.
Well, it won't be a debt-induced power outage.
Right.
We may get a power outage, but Ralph says
Once testing becomes more valuable or available on COVID-19, and they say mortality rate is still low for the younger set, we'll know more. But maybe they do not have a handle on it at all. That's part of the problem that Whitmer pointed out in her speech today, is that they don't. The testing is just becoming available. That's why the numbers
this
are going
is just
up.
starting, and the numbers we're
But-
seeing is like not even the tip. You know what I mean? Like,
They're finding out that the youth, 15 to 40, I think they said, is taking up 40 to 60% of the beds.
Really?
Yeah, because the virus goes in and attacks the lungs.
Right.
Actually,
Right.
today, Trump and the CDC had reported on their latest update, which is now daily, that we're also going through a very bad flu season. For those who don't know, we're setting record numbers of people being sick and actually being hospitalized for the regular flu. And we're looking at 50,000 Americans dying this year from the flu. So those numbers are getting mixed in with the corona wrongly. when they're talking about hospital beds. The younger generation is suffering a flu that's really attacking them, actually.
Well, that they're not sure about that. If that's not
That all
a
has to be
straight
tested.
flu or if it's COVID-19
No, they're
until
testing everyone in the hospital.
until after they're tested. Yeah.
Yeah, but they've tested everyone in the hospitals now. So this was new.
No, they haven't tested everyone in the hospitals yet. They're
Look,
having a
I
hard
was at
time
the
getting the
hospital
tests
last
around.
week, and they didn't test me, and I went in there with symptoms. I had a fever, and I had the cough. It turned out I actually had an infection through kidney stones, but they didn't test me, and they probably should have. You know what I mean?
They probably should have, but they probably didn't have the test available to do it, or it was on a limited supply, and they were only they had a whole long.
Well, that's what it
checklist
is. It's a
that
limited
you have
supply.
to meet in order before you get tested.
Yeah, it's limited supply, and you have to go through a questionnaire and stuff like that. And if you fulfill 3 of the certain requirements, then they'll actually test you. I only met 2 of the criteria, right? So
Now that's why they didn't give you a full test.
now we have Comixology saying they're going to distribute the comics as usual on Wednesday for now. And people tend to think, or I'm starting to say, well, at least the book, some of the books are still coming out. Now, this is what I hope. I'm guessing Marvel and DC are concerned with. They are thinking that maybe the future of the business for the foreseeable future is digital comics. Digital comic sales have stagnated. This is not a booming business. Digital comics are.
At least the pirates will be able to stay in business for a while.
Yeah, I mean, and
As it is.
Yeah.
and it's digital comics. Don't get me wrong. I got tablets all over the house, but I don't like my books digital. I mean, if someone offers me a PDF on a Kickstarter, I'll take it and I'll read it, but I don't want to get all of my books as a
that would be a
PDF.
choice. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing: digital comics really qualify more as the newest experience and not gaining a product. You might technically have a product experience, and you can have a copy you can keep in some of your tablets or formats and all that. But to release a comic digitally is like a new TV show or a new video game.
Let me. Sorry.
So the idea that a comic book that's a physical comic of the print version is an actual new product that people can buy and retain as something that will keep its value inherently as an object.
Well, it's not something you can resell or physically hold in your hand, right?
Yeah.
But the whole world is going virtual. I mean, even at my work right now, like we're still open. We will not take cash. Credit cards only at this point, and you have to call them in ahead of time.
Oh yeah, but that's a totally different thing. You're talking about the nature of commerce, the nature of currency, which is.
I'm talking about that currency right now is dirty. No one wants to touch it, right? No one wants to touch a physical product right now and fears that the virus is going to be transmitted through it.
Oh yeah, I know, but this all eventually is going to go away, and at that point, what we're being faced with now is trying to. I think we're trying to face what is becoming a time to really firm up definitions and viewpoints and attitudes towards what is truly product, what is truly necessary, what is simply an experience you're buying, and the idea that Diamond is stopping shipment of physical product is a lot bigger deal as to whether or not, say, Comixology is going to not,
Well, if we don't have physical comics, we're in big trouble because half the market is speculators. And the only reason why they buy comics is so they can resell them on eBay and make money. Okay? If they can't do that, because you can't do that with a digital product, big problems are going to happen.
Yeah, but speculators are still selling comics on their live web shows right now.
Yeah, but they're just selling old comics. They're just recycling the same old crap over and over again. But speculators also like going to the comic shop and picking out what's new. Say, like, brand new characters that are showing up. Say, like, Safe Space and fucking whatever it's called. They would buy those books up and then the next day flip them on eBay. Half the sales come from people like that.
Some people are still doing videos like Comic Tom.
Right? Exactly.
I want to take the time out for a second, guys. I want to thank everybody who's listening right now. We have topped over currently on INDIE Radio. We have topped over 11,000 listeners right now.
Are you kidding me?
11,000? Wow.
We
United
appreciate
States,
each and every one of you listening.
United Kingdom, Germany,
Thanks.
France, Sweden. Most are listening through the site. It looks like.
Well, listen, You got
And
people.
those 11,000 people,
love you
if
all.
anybody wants to write a check, they fill it out to Scott Rosenbaum.
Listen, I'm doing a watch party on my own Facebook. We got like 15 people that have dropped by. We have Montreal Mac here saying that the media is blowing everything up, that they're adding flu patients with COVID patients. My aunt works in a hospital, tested her, but sent her over a cough home saying she had the flu. She got her test results. She does not have the flu at all.
Oh.
What does she have then? Does she have?
Well-
She doesn't have COVID.
Well, I mean, Montreal Mac, why don't you let me know in the chat, and then we can update. But that's what he seems to be implying. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
just
now-
mentioning
now
to the wife,
Montreal-
all of those pneumonia deaths now, all throughout the country, are going to end up getting mixed in with the COVID numbers.
Now, Montreal Mac and people like that, I think they have to be encouraged to tamp down this notion that the media is exploding this. This is not a matter of people getting the wrong idea and that's causing things to happen. The media is there doing the best it can to distribute information and letting people know what's going on. It's hard and tough to take some of that news and information, and sometimes it's off kilter, sometimes it's not right. But that doesn't mean that somehow the media per se, whether it's our show here or whether it's network news or cable news or online news forms, they are letting people know what is going on. And it's a tough thing to have to swallow because there's a lot of information there and you have to sort through it.
Well, he has clarified.
Causing problems. If you really wanted to see problems, then you wouldn't get any information at all. And then everybody's going to be working in the dark and it'll get 10 times as worse.
Well, he did clarify. He said that she just has a cold due to yearly allergies. So no COVID-19 on her part. So that's good to hear.
Good.
Sure. Yeah, it's awesome.
I have to disagree a little bit with the media, though. Some of the media has stoked this to be bigger than it is. And not to say it's to be taken lightly, that's not what I'm saying. But some of them, the toilet paper, that's the media. That's the media covering it every day, telling people there was no toilet paper in certain states. And then all of a sudden, every state ran out. The media is complicit in this. They did not handle this with their integrity. The newspaper, the printed newspapers have always handled stuff like this better. They are looking for ratings right now. My local station, I give them a lot of credit. They're saying they're saying facts, not fear, and I really believe in that. When I watch their show versus when I watch like a CNN or even a Fox News, I'm seeing a different tone. They're talking about statistics and numbers, and they're having scientists talk to us. They're not having people who are in a studio delling out their opinions that then cause run-on stores. And it's a dangerous moment. Don't get me wrong. We're seeing a lot of Americans die. I've said this before. Everyone can be a hero right now by putting on their superhero outfit called PJs and staying home. I fully believe in that. We're in day, 7 of 15 on the president's stopping to spread the plan. I forgot what it's called. But they when the CDC was releasing their numbers at the press conference today, out of all the people tested, only 28% are coming back positive. And that's in New York.
Let me make a point here, though. Is it truly the fact that the media is doing something, or that we as people are not taking the time and effort to sort through and make informed, intelligent, common sense choices about it?
Well, I would say that's the latter because we live in an age now where we get all our news from social media, and generally most people only read the headlines, right? So that's dangerous thinking. That's dangerous.
Well, and that's where we as people have to decide. Okay, are we just going to swallow this stuff whole without chewing through it completely first? And who's to blame for whether or not everything out there is taken wrongly? And it's about whether or not we as a people are going to learn and educate ourselves as to how to digest the information we get on a daily basis.
And like how Rob said, that's the big difference between newspapers, TV media, and social media. It's because the newspapers used to be able to get a whole story, and you used to be able to get facts and be able to discern, and it was usually cold facts, and be able to intelligently sift through those and make the decision for yourself. On the media side, they're giving you whatever numbers they think that they can give you that's going to get a commercial down the pike. And on social media, it's pretty much panic.
And Scott, who's writing those headlines? Let's not forget, the headlines aren't falling out of the heavens.
No, I know they're not.
So you're asking me, who do we hold accountable? the people writing the headlines that are misleading, that are causing a panic. This panic is causing problems. We don't have face masks to protect our actual first responders right now in certain places in America. That is the media's fault. Hands down, because they're the ones who told everyone to go out and get it when the CDC was saying, stop, you don't need it. It won't help you. But they weren't covering that. The newspapers were covering it, but CNN was talking about how there was a shortage on the masks, and suddenly the next day there were no masks. We have to stop acting like we can't hold our media, especially the people who call themselves news programs, accountable for not reporting correctly. There used to be, I agree with the Walter Cronkite. We would never have seen this with the Walter Cronkite. This would have never happened. There was integrity in press back then.
Well, there was also limited access to that type of news, and they were more careful about what they put out, and were more deliberate about whether or not it was actually sustainable and verifiable information.
Three quarters of our audience just said anymore. Walter who.
The fact that we have all of this information to sift through, and the fact is we now have to change our mindsets about how we take in this information. See, the fact is that was very good what you said, and it's very true about how it can very much be the media's fault for putting out that much information, but you found a way to sift through it and have the right attitude towards it, as do I, and everybody else should too. And I think that's one of our responsibilities these days, is that we have to be far more diligent and far more aware and be willing to sift through and make much more deliberate choices. We didn't have to when it was Cronkite and two other guys on TV 1 hour each night. But now we don't have that advantage anymore. And I think there should be as much responsibility held to these sources as we could possibly get. But short of that, we have to be much more vigilant, stay on the parapet, and keep watch. We really do.
Mark Hodges says, I'm getting my info from the CDC and WHO, dodging news as much as I can.
That's good.
Also been watching the governor and president press conferences.
Then Ralph says, and our commander-in-chief has turned news and fake news into China virus.
True.
China.
Well, you could probably do without the president's news, because that's not really news. That's him just blabbering about.
Now, I want to bring something to you guys' attention, and this came from iNDIE Radio. And this is a very good
Sale on chairs? What?
No. I've been looking at those chairs, so they're everywhere. They're all over my computer. It wants me to buy one. Here's the problem.
Nice. I got one.
That's why you were shopping for chairs. Now all you're getting are chair ads.
Right. Well, the thing, there's a video game arcade center by me. It's PlayStation 4, Xbox, PC gaming. It's called Esports Arena. They put them in all the Walmarts nationwide. My buddy, a good friend of mine, is the manager of one of them. So I've been in his store a couple times, and I love the chairs. And so he showed me the chair that I want is $500. So,
hey Mark, how are we doing?
So listen, guys. I need that chair. So if you can, pop over to Patreon, Lola's Premium Snapchat.
I've got a stool you can have.
The funny thing is, what we just got from iNDIE Radio is those digital comics. Read the fine print. They are not yours. You are borrowing them. You are leasing them from the service when you buy them.
Yep.
At any point, they can take them back.
Well, not true. In theory, you could print them out.
Well, yeah, but what I mean by that is they're not yours, in that at any point they can go back into your account and remove that content, or remove pages, edit it, move stuff around, what they don't like, what they find problematic. So you buy a comic today, and all of a sudden now, a group of people get outraged about something in it. The company can go back into that comic, that digital comic you got, and remove or redo that entire scene. I've seen this happen with some video games. Pulled off of the market, or they go in and remove the musical content because the license for that content has expired and they don't want to re-up. So all the music gets pulled out of it. Now, I still got, luckily for me, in most cases, I still got that physical disc, so I can still pop that game in and play it as it was meant to be played.
But Varian, you're
Mhm.
talking about keeping it stored on their site, not downloads, just so everyone knows.
Yeah.
You're not talking about someone going in and fixing someone's downloaded PDF.
No,
Just-
no, they can't fix your. No, once you got the PDF, but Comixology, correct me if I'm wrong, those aren't downloaded PDFs, are they?
I don't use Com. I don't.
Isn't Comixology a division of Amazon?
Yeah,
It
I thought
is,
those
it
were
is.
downloads.
Yeah,
Well, Amazon had that problem like 2 or 3 years ago where they went through and pulled everybody's copy of 1984 because of copyright issues.
Yeah,
Can't you download
Just-
that onto a
Any-
flash drive or something?
Yeah, and anybody who had it loaded onto their reader, it was just gone. They just went in and took
yeah.
it.
Wow.
And unfortunately, all those
And
students
then-
lost their
And
notes.
that was a lot of students in colleges and that lost their notes. But that was a couple of years ago. They can
Yeah.
do whatever they want with their product, and Comixology is just a division of Amazon.
But can't you download your download onto a flash drive? You
No,
gotta-
it goes onto a reader.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
yeah, but you don't
Oh.
have no. You
No,
don't.
you can't pull it down to a flash drive.
Now,
You
sure.
If you have the right tech, you can do it. That's
Sure,
where all
you
the
can-
piracy
yeah.
is coming from.
You can screenshot it and compile it all into a
PDF
file, and
yeah.
then print it out. But I mean,
Hey,
yeah,
Hey,
Hopefully,
Varian,
the resolution on that is so low that when you do print it out, it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Wait,
Varian, can we talk to Mark Hodges here? He's a big figure in the convention area.
He's
Yeah.
in the chat.
Yep. Yeah, I
Mark says he's doing good over there. Big advantage of living in the middle of nowhere.
Right?
yeah, I keep trying to get Mark to come in, but
He's not. He doesn't have the tech to do it.
well, we got another program that we can use to have Mark. I want to have an interview with Mark about cons and what cons are doing to try to get back on their feet after this COVID-19. And I have a new program that Mark can actually just call. He can talk on the phone.
Yeah.
And we can hear him, and our listeners will be able to hear him too.
You can't connect your Zoom to StreamYard though, can you?
No, that doesn't
Yeah.
connect. But it'd be something that we'd have to set up, like outside of this, and then we could talk to.
Well,
him.
let me ask
We
you this.
could we could
haven't
easily
talked-
record that as an interview and then
Yeah.
play it back here on here. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this question. We haven't really discussed this yet. With Diamond now being shut down, these conventions being shut down, comic book stores being shut down, I think the only sort of viable way right now for comic books is by getting them to the creators and crowdfunding. Am I not wrong here? Am I right?
That's an option.
Like, are we going to see like an influx of more and more creators now, especially over the summer, just crowdfunding books and pumping them out to the Kickstarter and Indiegogo?
Hopefully, Diamond's only down temporarily for one. The retail shops aren't going to be horribly affected, especially if Diamond wants to work with them as far as their bills go, and the state wants to work with them as far as their utilities go. But crowdfunding right now is ideal. My big concern, Larry, is that now that everybody's got 3 weeks where they're not supposed to do anything, are they all going to sit there and work on their products, and then June or July, there's going to be a crowdfunding bonanza of all sorts of
I've been
different
doing that.
crazy campaigns out there all at once.
See, I don't
Okay.
see it
And
being.
if they hard flood the market like that, it's going to be hard to pick out the good ones. Everybody's going to suffer.
See, I don't see crowdfunding. I agree with Randy, but I don't see crowdfunding being the only way. A lot of
Well,
people.
not the only way, but what I'm saying is I think it's going to explode. Like I think we're going to see like creators who normally go through the traditional means say, we can't do it. Let's pump out our book Kickstarter.
I don't
You
think so. So what creators you're talking about going through the normal way that aren't with a publisher right now? Because we're talking about Diamond. Let's not forget the rest of them have been crowdfunding.
Sure, but there's lots of smaller
You
companies that go through Diamond, say like Boom Studios or Black Mask or Antarctic Press or Action Lab Comics. I think you might see all those guys starting to turn and look towards crowdfunding.
But you know what? I want to bring some. I want to say this. There are people that jumped. They signed with a publisher so they could kind of jump over the paying their dues portion of comics. So and I'm not gonna go crowdfund my own comic. I may have to shake hands with these geeks. I may have to have a fucking personality. No way. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go sign with a publisher and have my book out and get me a diamond. And hell, I'm a published fucking author. Screw the rest of you. And now, and now you're telling these same people you think they're gonna go run the crowdfunding? That's too much work. That's too much like paying your dues. No.
So like
Very-
a
very-
And
you're-
another
you're
thing
right.
I think we're going to see when the curve trends down and everything starts calming down again, is how many of these publishers who have ordered everybody's pencils down just aren't going to come back. And they're going to blame the virus as opposed to their financial standing before the virus for their problems.
Well,
And
look,
how many of these guys are just waiting for that excuse to get out? And
So
to
like
get out
Dan
and save
Mendoza,
face?
right? He was known for like doing work on Zombie Tramp and Vampire for Action Lab Comics.
Mhm.
Left Action Lab, put out Psycho Baby on Kickstarter, is now doing his own thing that way. I think you're going to see a lot more of that happening.
Sure.
We said a second ago. Who's my guy here for the underground indie? I didn't get a name.
That's Rob.
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 Oh, hi, Rob. Hadn't seen you before.
Rob, Rob.
Rob, you said something interesting. Can you expand on it a little bit? You said crowdfunding isn't the only route, or there are other routes beside that. Can you expand on that? What else? What else do you see out there?
Well, first off, our websites. We've forgotten that we had websites, and suddenly everyone's going back to their website and going, "Oh my God, I have a website where I sell comics. Maybe I should spend a minute updating that and selling my comics through there." And second, of course, is doing these online cons. All the online cons that have showed up, I call them online connections or on-cons. That's helping promote. We're learning how to use social media again, and we're learning to get around Facebook's algorithms. We're doing more shows. We're doing more interviews. We're becoming creative. And like Varian said, some people will die now. This is evolve or die time. There are people who are going to stick their heads in the sand, be terrified, and say the world is ending. There are the people who are going to go away because, like Randy said, they've been looking for that reason. I can't do this. Thank God, here's my out. And then they're
Read them out.
The
Pencils
final
down,
so
pencils
they
down.
can't get over it.
the rest of us are looking for our way because we've always done that. We're looking how we're going to eat tomorrow. We're going to look how we're going to survive and thrive. Doesn't matter what you throw at us, throw a virus at us, take away our cons. We're going to still find a way to create our comics, bring them to you, and get people to read what we're doing. And fuck Marvel for what they're doing with Safe Space and Snowflake. I got something worth reading, and that's going to continue.
And it's that
This
type
program is rated TVMA,
Right.
TLSV.
Well, I did want to
and
say
it's
one.
that type of tenacious, never say die attitude that's going to be necessary, and I think it'll help. It's certainly going to start the men from the boys, if that I can use that misogynistic phrase. But the idea that is exactly what it's going to be needed to create a healthier, more robust market out there of creators. And I think it's gonna end up being that way.
I want to
Pardon
read
the
something
interruption, Varian. Are you getting any reaction from across the world?
I am, but I want to read something here from the watch party.
I saw you staring there for a minute. I'm like going, he's reading something interesting.
Well, there's a couple of different things from the watch parties. Several of you guys, I thank you for actually starting watch parties on your Facebooks and sharing this video. A couple people on Facebook, Chuck.
We
who's been on the show.
appreciate all of you, but please, if you have access to YouTube, please get on the Indie Vault channel and subscribe.
Yeah, that we
We
appreciate.
would
that.
deeply appreciate that, and likes. All the likes we can get our hands on.
Chuck says digital gonna be big, but Sam Johnson says shops don't have to be walk-in. There's mail order, and then Peter Mann, he says my local store owner told me he just got a job at Walmart until it's over. I guess you do what it takes to survive.
Got it.
And then Mary
do what
Dumas.
Some
do.
stores are doing like drive-by drop-offs. Like I don't see how all that's going to work out, but you know.
Well, all these dine and dash companies have sprung up. Like, why isn't somebody doing a comic and dash?
So I can understand like a store, right,
I-
struggling to do whatever they can, like to mail you your books, your pull list, or drop them off, or however set up an appointment, come pick them up. But without Diamond actually sending the books out now, that's going to cripple it.
Well, Mary Dumas says I think the comic book store owners will need to be better at hunting in the wild, just like all other business owners had to do ever. And yeah, they're gonna have to. I mean, this shit. Now
That's
when you look at a Dennis Barger who got out of this shit in January, who said I'm done.
No, he got out of the weekly stuff.
Yeah, the weeklies. Yeah,
Not-
well,
he didn't
there's-
stop completely.
Right,
He
but
just
there's
stopped the
no
regular
weekly, so
hassle. Yeah.
this isn't affecting him at all.
Yeah.
In fact,
I just may set up a spinner rack out my back door and hope I get some traffic.
Right?
Yeah, there you go, Randy. Randy, I'll borrow your spinner rack.
No, you won't.
So speaking of watch parties, we got Montreal Mac here. He says here, crowdfunding has been getting abused for the last few years. There is a lack of competition. Being creator sells their books through the direct market with the big boys, which does weed out the good from the bad. He also goes on to say, we got many creators who are great
you, Ted.
salesmen and hustlers, but get the money via crowdfunding and produce subpar products. This is just my opinion.
Ted Lehman just subscribed. Thanks, Ted. Ted does phenomenal work on that on door kickers, which I think I made the joke before. I seen the page of door kickers, and I had a scene where I had soldiers rushing a facility, and I seen his scene, and I redid my whole thing. It was like, oh my god, what is that? Oh, curse you, Ted! You cost me hours. Emily Zelasco in the chat. Hello,
Emily, how you
And
doing?
She says, I wonder
good.
though if it will be a moment before people are ready to support projects or buy extra fun things. Any thoughts?
Nobody
you know what?
knows.
Give me that stimulus. Give me some spending money. Come on, let's go. I need some money. Daddy wants to play on Kickstarter.
Well, no, but listen, we got to be honest. There are Kickstarters out there making money. Indiegogo campaigns are making money right now.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
we're still in the infancy of the outbreak. Let's see what happens next month to see if people are still willing to spend money as liberally as they are.
But now
Well-
Emily's, I think, got a good point. She sounds like she's drifting towards the idea of merchandising as well as off your product and off your property. I think that's what she's talking about, and I think everybody that's going to be a huge part of how everybody's independent properties are going to have to thrive. It probably won't be just product and books and such. I think you need to develop a multi-pronged approach towards promoting your property and your story, your characters, and produce.
That's not what I got out of her statement at all. I got out of it like she's wondering if people are going to continue to want to spend money on comic books when we're in the middle of an outbreak and shortages of supplies.
Yes,
Well,
and
Randy-
she raises a good point. Absolutely.
But Randy pointed out.
That's
to
a
me-
good thought.
Randy pointed out to me, and it's a great thing, and you could say it again. How during wars, comics always do better,
Always. Comics
true,
always
yeah.
has an upswing during hard times.
and we're in a war. We're in a war against
Right.
something we can't see.
But here's the difference. Back then, you can buy a comic book for a quarter or a dime or a nickel, but now you can't go to your LCS and buy comics. So if you want to get a comic right now, say through crowdfunding, you're paying probably $10 bare minimum for the comic and another $10 for shipping. Is that really viable?
Unless you're doing PDFs, then a lot of creators need to adjust that. Adapt or die. Know that you have to do more PDFs. Know that's where the money's going to be.
Nick said, Rob, you should be an inspirational speaker. That speech was lit.
Give me 5 minutes. I'll piss someone off, and you'll see why I can't be one.
and
Oh, come on, Rob, you can do it. Discipline. It's all it takes is discipline.
and Paul says, just tune in. Comics survived World War II and Frederick Wortham. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah,
Comics,
but
comics
how much are
thrived
you
in
willing
World
to
War
spend?
II and
How much are you
survived.
willing
World
to? But how much are you willing to spend on that particular piece of medium and that particular piece of entertainment, right? We've always complained that comic books were too high to begin with when you went to the LCS. Now you're buying them through crowdfunding, and you're paying $10 shipping, $10 bare minimum for the comic book. So you're looking at $20, $25. Let's look at Cyberfrog. There you go. Perfect, right? So to get Cyberfrog, what's the bare minimum buy-in here, Varian?
25.
25.
Is that with or without shipping?
No, it's 35 with shipping.
Yeah.
See, there you go. Boom, right?
Yep.
But what about the digital?
It's a
There is
prison
no
for a living.
digital.
There's no digital. No. No.
So he might need to adjust and put digital. Well, he doesn't need to.
No.
But other creators are going to have to adjust and break down and do digital. It's just the reality that you evolve or die.
$403,000. 400. Yeah, I mean, and then you got, but then
403.
on the flip side of that, you
8
got
days in the
you
middle
got-
of the virus.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, not in the middle of the virus, at the start of the virus, probably.
Well, I don't know. You guys keep talking about that. I've been in my house for 2 weeks now. Where did you guys talk? We've been talking about this since.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've been in my house for the last 10 years. Everybody's wondering what the heck are they going to be doing. I'm like, well, I got commercial art coming out of my butt. Do I give me
Oh, by the grace of God, I even get out of bed every morning. So
Randy walked
knock
out.
on wood?
Look,
Knock
there's
on
parking.
I got
Well,
jobs
I
to
know
do.
what I'm doing. I'll be fulfilling Niobe orders like for the next month or two, and then
There we go.
hopefully, by the summer comes, hopefully it does die down. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, I noticed you were bagging comics as you're sitting there. I
I'm
mean,
still, I got work to do, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
I
question
can
from
believe they'll
IndieVolt.
make it happen.
Entertainment
Go back.
has a long history of surviving these kind of things. Books
These are
and
actually
comics
the
included.
first
Em-
printing of Niobe #1s going out to the latest round of backers. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what I
Mark
got.
Hodges says, Emily, it may be slow the first month, but I firmly believe we will recover.
I think we'll recover too, but I think it's going to be a vastly different industry when we do. I think some people are going to be missing. From IndieVolt Radio, one of the uh, I can't make your name out. I'm sorry. It might be Mycana said that they believe that art is going to pick back up doing art for companies as photographers are going to be unable to go out and take photos.
Yeah. Well, I think
Good
it should be,
possibility. That's a strong possibility.
I think it should be a changed industry. This would be a great opportunity in a way to see some really solid changes happen. I'm not sure it's going to be as complete as we would all like.
Well, art always evolves.
Well, we talked to
Yeah.
somebody who's getting their degree in photography. Do you Lola? Do you feel safe? Would you feel safe going out taking photos right now, or is that something that you're not interested in doing?
I'm so glad I don't have a photography class right now.
Yeah.
Can't hear you. You got to turn your gain up, hon.
Yeah, her mic is off because
You-
her and Varian are in the same
Go
room.
ahead.
And there'd
You
be
turn
a
your mic on.
bad
Go ahead.
rebound. Go ahead.
No, I'm so glad that I don't have photography right now. I'm doing history classes because I don't feel comfortable going out and taking pictures.
Really?
Well, she was just recently very sick, so she had a scare. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't blame her.
And you're feeling better now, Lola?
80%. If I don't do anything strenuous, I can breathe. But like walking around and stuff, it's hard to breathe.
So you're not going to make the kickboxing tournament, right? Can I not count on you? Is that
So,
not going to? All right.
no, I'm sorry. I have to bail on that.
There goes a trophy.
Photographers have telephoto lenses. I don't really think you're going to affect photographers too much. Plus, most of them are crazy. Most photographers are the ones running in front of bulls to take pictures. They go to sporting events and let huge men crash into them just to get a picture. I don't think that's going to stop them. I just think they're going to be taking a lot of pictures of some weird stuff as deers and dolphins show up in France and New York City having things now. The rats are now in the middle of the road, kind of dancing. They think they've defeated the humans. They're reconquering.
I was kind of thinking that maybe a lot of these drones would help solve those problems. You can get some incredible footage with, you can get shots you could never get before with these drones. I saw a guy. Here's a fun story. I went down to the lake on a drive, and I live in Muskegon. We're right on the edge of Lake Michigan. We went down to the shoreline to just drive by the beach. There's not much beach left. But there was a guy there that had his own personal drone, and he was flying up and down the coast of Lake Michigan about 30 miles north and south. And he was up at 450 feet. And he let us watch his control screen. Absolutely incredible. My God, footage I have never seen of Lake Michigan before.
Sure.
So the idea that you could take a drone and put it out there instead of yourself going out there,
Yep.
I would think that would solve a lot of photographers' problems.
Now, have you ever thought about the uses of drones in the bedroom? I'm just asking if I'm
I'm sure it's been done.
I'm the only one. Like, how do your remote? Can you put it on autopilot just to be a third person in there to control it?
That might be fun. I might have to try that.
Montreal Mac talks about drone deliveries, yo.
Oh my God!
By the way, there will be no drones in the bedroom.
Is that the future? Like a drone is just going to drop off my Spider-Man comics to me? Is that what's going to happen? Like me, here you go.
Well, probably not in the States because a lot of these states see a drone flying above their house as an open invitation for
Oh, if
target
a drone
practice.
flies around this neighborhood, it gets shot down, dude.
Yeah.
Like I live in a backyard, fucking hit countryville here in Canada.
Well, my wife Susie tells me that I'm a drone. I get talking and she says I drone on. So I've been one for years. Hey, Varian, let's get Mark Hodges' comment here. I'd like to see him
I
get.
have no doubt that some people will go bankrupt and leave the field. Some small people will be weeded out.
Mhm.
That's Mark
True.
Hodges' comment.
And that's true. That's true. I don't
That's
think there's a
true.
lot of people who will make it. I mean, there's a few people who've told me. I talked to. I got a artist buddy who told me, he says, "Dude, if there's no conventions in May, I'm gonna lose my apartment." He told me, he says, I'm gonna have to move back in with my parents. And,
Apparently, Ralph has some experience with drones. He says there is a hover mode.
Oh,
Oh, don't even go there. Don't. Oh, just ignore it.
yeah.
Don't even go there.
Well, look, not only that, some people, smaller people getting weed out, even some of the bigger names might take this opportunity to say, you know what, might be a good time to retire.
Yeah. Mark says a few big ones that have financial woes as well. Yeah, I mean,
True. That's
and
true.
you know what's funny is that I've seen big names go online recently and do Facebook Live videos like, "Hey, how you doing?" And it's like, are you on Facebook? Why are you, people you wouldn't have seen, make regular videos.
Well, here's an example that everybody knows, or at least probably have heard of Mike DiCarlo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome, longtime pro in the industry. He used to ink everybody forever.
Yep.
Now he's gotten out of inking for the companies, and he just does his own artwork on the side. Of course, the guy is a drawing machine, and he's just great. So there's an example of somebody who really doesn't even want to put up with the all the troubles of working for the companies, and he's doing his own work now.
Thanks for the input. My YouTube stopped as soon as you all started to reply. LOL. That's interesting about comics doing well during wartime.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, the soldiers needed something to read, right? It was like they didn't have TV and radio. That was their escape. What was these comic books way back in the day?
Oh, sure, yeah. It was
Not just that, but they were major propaganda back then. If you go back through those war comics, some of them are just incredibly vicious.
Oh,
That's when the Human Torch decided to stop to lift his ban on burning humans.
Yeah. God.
As
Well,
long as they were Japanese or German, they were fireballs, buddy.
Oh, yeah,
That was target practice.
I
for
know a
Human
young
Torch.
lady who took a ban on burning humans too.
Burn all humans, man.
Yeah.
No, leave Lola alone. Leave Lola alone.
Mark Hyder says, "Bum checka checka wow wow."
Hey, Marion, I want to ask Mark a question.
Sure.
Mark, if you're still there, listen. You of course, we all know he had the great big show in November in Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids, yeah.
And I'm wondering between now and then, hopefully, we're going to see a huge downturn of all this problems we're having with the COVID. And I'm wondering if he's feeling any kind of a pinch this far out from when GR Comic Con is supposed to happen. And what's his attitude or what's his plans for facing it months down the road?
And another thing is a discussion that we say we want to have at some point too is, and we've all said it, and Rob, Rob talked about this, and look, guys, Comic Con can come back April 13th if they want to. That's great.
What?
Comic Con can come back April 13th.
What Comic-Con?
Any
Which
Comic Con.
Comic-Con?
Like, we can bring them all back. Is the audience gonna feel safe enough to come back?
God
Yeah.
no.
You're talking about the same.
Some will.
Some people are Costco and BJ's right now. Like all the people who are shopping, Americans had to be told to get off the beaches.
Yeah.
We had been guilted into it by our government, telling us that we're going to get tickets if we keep going out.
Well, all those Americans on beaches are fools. And here in Canada, I can tell you it's a little bit different. I'm walking around my town today picking up the orders, and it's like a goddamn ghost town, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Does Canada have beaches? I'm actually asking.
Yeah. No, we got Parley Beach right on the right here where I live. It's like a 30-minute drive. Where I live is right on the East Coast, so it's like I'm right above the state of Maine, so
Yeah,
right on the Atlantic Ocean. Right.
What was your temperature today?
Yeah,
It's in Celsius. I think it was maybe like 6 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
Two.
But I mean, variant is going to come back. Me and you have talked about this. I do think some people will be afraid, but I think we'll see a lot more of the comic book geeks and nerds come back out. I think they're the first ones to show back up. I think celebrity hunters are going to be gone. And you made a good point, actually. I think we were talking about this and someone else made it. Are the celebrities going to show up? Or are they going to be busy back at work trying to film now and trying to record after the great pause stops?
Well, everything's going to be up in the air.
Yeah, that's a good point.
A lot of these guys are under contract, but they're under contract for the old show,
And
not the new show.
what happens when one of these celebrities like a Varian Grant says, "Oh, Mark, Mark, I'm gonna come to your show, but I'm busy filming my new Disney Plus special."
Well, that's going to happen.
and-
So everyone's schedules is going to be messed up. Look, right now, Marvel Productions has stopped production due to COVID-19. Right.
But what happens when I tell Mark I need a bigger guarantee now because I got a halt production on my new masterpiece. You know, Nympho 3.
Somehow, I don't think that's going to be a problem, Varian.
Info 3 goes to the con. That's all it is. Just change the title, you're good.
We all saw Nympho 2. You don't need to do a Nympho 3.
I'm just glad they got the Mandalorian season 2 like pretty much down pat.
Oh, God.
Guaranteed that, you know. Like,
Yeah, and how long has Ahsoka been running through Mandalorian season 2? That's what I wanted.
I'm sure she was a
That's-
nice, well-kept secret for a long time.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
I mean, listen,
That's
they were
awesome
able to
for
keep
them.
Baby Yoda a secret and not spoil that. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
You know
a
what I
real
mean?
Good point. Yep, I do. That's a great.
Well, Randy, read this out, would you?
Ralph says, I remember Yang saying giving people $100 a month might allow them to be more creative and adventuresome, doing things they are passionate about.
I thought it was supposed to be $1,000 a month.
No, I think what he's referring to is a statement done sometime back.
Way back when. Yeah.
Well, Andrew Yang was like the presidential candidate, and he was promising everyone $1,000.
Oh, that Andrew Yang. I thought
Okay.
it was an old underground comic guy.
Oh,
Real quick,
I thought it
from
was
In-
some Confucius guy from
from
China.
Indie Vote from Indie Vote Radio.
Oh, you meant 1,000. Oh,
You meant-
In
1,000,
regards to Ahsoka, says everyone's excited about Ahsoka. Please remember
Ahsoka.
I'm sorry, Ahsoka.
That's okay.
But please remember, and I swear to God, I will mute all your mics. I'll mute them all. Please remember that she is being played. This is from Indie Vote Radio by a woman who assaulted a trans sexual.
I'm tired of hearing that shit.
See, I just mute.
I'm serious, man. It's about time that these people, these left-wing nut jobs, kind of let this shit go. We got bigger problems to worry about than complain about who's playing fucking Ahsoka Tano.
we just wait.
Pointing the
that
wrong way,
man's
Rob.
name is
No, point it right at me, man. I'm tired of it, man.
wait.
Real world problems are
Take a
happening.
look at
I don't
that.
care if you're some nutbag that didn't like The Last Jedi. Fuck off. Like,
We just made sure we put you up there so everybody knows who said that.
yeah. Who said it? That's me.
You can reach Rebel Larry at Rebel Comics and Gaming. Rebel
Yeah,
Comics.
YouTube. Come subscribe. You can hear more of my opinions.
But that is an issue I've heard people toss around too. That she is that Rosario Dawson is wanted in a
You go back and most actors past, you're gonna find
Yeah,
something
and that's
that they
just
need
it,
to be
man.
forgiven for.
Look,
It's
if I
just
want
that
to find
simple.
skeletons in some people's closet, I'm sure I can go to anyone I want, and if I dig back far enough, I'm going to find something I can use against them. It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
Varian,
uh-huh.
you're my sensitivity editor. How do I answer this?
he's the sensitivity editor? Oh, my God.
Help me be sensitive in this moment.
Oh, my God.
We say that our thoughts and prayers. Yeah, our thoughts and prayers are with the individuals affected, and we wish nothing but happiness and peace to the world.
all.
There, to all. There we go.
Happiness and peace to all.
Yeah.
We have Jill Belongi in the chat. He says hi to everyone.
Hello. We are now. I do have another question for you guys. So with Diamond saying we're done for the foreseeable future.
Indefinitely.
And printers saying printers possibly closing up and everything, and Michigan especially. There are printers all over the place, but do you guys think we'll get a convention this summer?
Yes.
This summer? Yeah. I think
Someone will be foolish enough to attempt it.
COVID con.
that one is summer.
2020.
Yeah, COVID-Con. And then
Attend if you dare.
And then when they do it, and 2 weeks later, when 4 or 5 people have confirmed cases, then that will stop again for the rest of the summer.
Is anyone watching the world news? Just asking. Has anyone checked in what's happening in China?
Yeah, I don't believe it. They say that there's no new cases. I think China's full of shit. I think China is trying to cover up something.
I'm gonna go get my tinfoil so we can all have this conversation a little bit longer.
Larry, why do you think China's full of it right now? Or they're
Because, well, first of all, China's the state of origin where this thing came from, right? And the second of all,
Chinese
China has the
listeners
largest
can send that
outbreak
email to
in the
Larry.
world. If China goes on and says, we don't have control of this, we lost it, we have more confirmed cases, that even sends the world into a greater pandemic, a greater panic, right? So I think the pressure's on China to say, hey, no, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Please, world, don't be scared. Don't be mad at us.
all right. Well, what's wrong with that?
But what if they're lying, though? And what if there are more cases and they're not saying it?
What if the world is flat?
I mean,
I just read on Facebook today that Russia has let loose a bunch of lions on their streets just to make
China,
sure people
communist
stay
state. You really
indoors, too.
believe the propaganda that they spout out? Honestly, we've had issues with China, our Chinese overlords, for many years now. You know, basically controlling our whole economic scene. You can't, if you're in the NBA, you can't say nothing bad about China, or you get fucking slapped. All right. If you work for Blizzard Entertainment, if you speak out against Hong Kong, they take away your prize money. I do not trust China. Period.
I on the other hand, like to welcome our Chinese overlords to to Indie Vote. No, it's funny because we do have people from China, according to the statistics, who listen. Right now, I would wonder if again, and if you're listening, you want to send a question, please feel free to. Are we under a shield? Because there was a guy a couple days ago here in Michigan, Dr. Patrick Whiter, who put out a message saying, "Hey, listen, young people are being hit hard in Michigan. Beaumont, Royal Oak is the emergency room. The triage area is full of young people on ventilators fighting for their lives." And I'm like, holy shit. Now, it says he's an ortho trauma surgeon. So this is, they basically a foot doctor, and he would, be able to, help you if you broken a foot or something. And, I'm like, wow, this doctor has some balls to come out. And that's, of course, I start wondering, okay, is it the truth? Because so many of these things get passed around social media that's not true. I can go online, find a doctor, put a post out that says I'm him, and it'll be around the world in 20 minutes. Well, he came out next morning and said, "I'm sorry about that message. I wrote it. It was a personal message. It was not supposed to be shared. The information in that message is untrue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cause a scare."
wow.
And people are like, wait a minute. So you wrote a personal message containing false information, and now you're walking it back.
Which then automatically makes him into an unreliable source and should be treated as such.
Right, but then you start wondering, was he made to retract that statement?
Well, who knows? I mean, no, you can't. I mean, how far deep do you want to dig? But now, real quick, if you don't mind me, Varian, I hate to break in, but Mark Hodges did reply to the question earlier. Can you bring that back up again and
sure
get him
Yeah,
and talk a little more about
that
it?
one? I have 19 Artist Alley participants right now that haven't paid us for an April 15th deadline and have already asked for an extension.
Yeah, you had a
We
message
met- or-
before that too.
Before that, oh God, yes, we are feverishly working on loans and such right now. Our income from vendors and such has ceased.
Wow.
Yeah, and Ralph did mean $1,000, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, again, Mark, let me follow up on this a little bit. With that being the case, what kind of obviously you've had to adjust your normal modus operandi, so to speak. And so with that in place, how do you foresee the upcoming problems you're going to have with the show, again, this far out? So hopefully I want to hear him say that.
How can you
Varian.
project that
Yeah.
that kind of a thing?
To answer your question, the doctor was just jerking some girl.
Oh. Are you trying to say the doctor was
In
gaslighting
various
us?
chat, you got Nick Gibson. He was a guest on your show the other week.
Yeah,
He says Blizzard did Blitzchung dirty. You're damn right they did, brother.
yeah.
Oh, can we expand on that a little bit? I'm a little out of it.
So Blitzchung is a Chinese American Hearthstone champion playing for Blizzard. And he said Hong Kong revolutionary for our times when he won the Blizzard championship. He was then at that point stripped of his championship, taken away all his prize money, and suspended for a year.
Wow.
And the two commentators that were commentating this match, they were also fired on the spot.
Wow.
Mark Hodges says I have 3 incomes and made a grand total of $5 last week.
Wow. So that's that. Yeah, you can
That
see where.
answers your question.
Yeah, with then in that respect, obviously, we'll get back to what you're saying in a second, Larry. But the idea
I'm
that
commenting on what Nick says. I know what he's talking about. Some may not, but I know what he means.
okay, well then, what Mark says. I mean, the fact is there have been such a disruption in this convention circuit of shows that it's causing everybody, even with Mark having his show, 5-6 months down the road. that's he's obviously, kind of in a struggle himself right now. So again, and like you, Randy, you were going to have what April
April 18th. It's done
April
now.
18th, yeah.
Yeah, we're done.
You can't
I'm not-
reschedule for later in the year.
No, I'm not going to reschedule because I'm going to be butting heads with everybody else that's rescheduled.
Yeah.
Well, it's
You're gonna-
true. Yeah.
I
You're gonna
have
have
enough
like
sense. I have enough sense to put my hand up and go, you know what? We're just going to throw it again next April.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're gonna have this like oversaturation when everything does go
Oh, it's
back
going
to
to be
normal.
horrendous.
Everyone's gonna be like, overscheduling each other. Everyone's gonna try and get their stuff out. Everyone's gonna try and, do everything that they postpone, and they're all gonna try and do it at once to capitalize on what Donald Trump says will be a soaring economy, right?
Plus, we don't know how long this is going to run or how long that hump is going to last.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we could go 3 months, we could go 6 months before everything comes back to normal.
Yeah.
Depending
I
on
know GastroCon in Toledo is going to reschedule for the week after GR Comic Con.
That's hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also with the curve, like you're saying, Randy, some states are going to be affected differently.
Yes.
Washington's going to recover faster than any of us possibly because they've had it longer.
Well, they have to go through it first. They're still on an upswing, real bad.
Well, that's also because they just, like you said, testing's just beginning
Yeah.
in a lot of these places. So we're actually just getting the answer that's
Well,
been.
even on their deaths, they're on a hard upswing still.
Oh, it's going to be for another week, they said. And then a week from now, the hope is that everything starts to plateau.
Yeah.
Because we've
And
all,
I hope that coming down from the plateau is really severe. It'd be great to see a lot of really severe downtick.
Well,
And
you're
all
seeing Italy right now is barely dropping.
Yeah.
I
He's
shouldn't
thinking
say
like-
I shouldn't say barely because 100 a difference of 100 is a big drop. I mean, to a
Yeah.
lot of people, but they're going from like 900 to 700 to 600 to the high 500s. Today,
Yeah,
I
but they're
believe.
worried also about what's called the second wave, right? So, Rob had brought up China reporting that they're doing better. One of the big concerns about that, too, is if they're not lying, is that they've reopened up all their movie theaters. Everyone's doing their business now.
Everybody's
and-
moving. Yeah.
And everything is moving again. And they're now the worry about the second wave of infection, right?
Well, they're saying this thing could just run in waves for a couple of years.
well, yeah, the second wave's already hitting China, and they just shut down some of their ports because they were letting people back in, and they were bringing the virus. Florida just announced today that anyone from New York or New Jersey has to quarantine because guess what? We're finding out that a lot of our cases are coming from up north, and they're bringing it in. So there's still might be something to the warm weather because
Well, it's
only
it's the port states that are the ones that are getting the hit the hardest too.
yeah.
the ones that are more heavy with inflow traffic.
Yeah.
Rob, are you imagining, or are you saying that we're going to see waves of infections or deaths?
Both. We're gonna see both.
Both.
This is not gonna, like Randy's saying, there's gonna be parts of America to have this good. New York is gonna be hard to get that out of.
Oh, that's the center of
Oh, you're talking
international
New York
travel.
City. Yeah.
Yeah, New York City is I've lived there. It's my hometown. It is going to be impossible to get out of certain areas just because of the way people are stacked on top of each other.
And the other concern is the wave that comes back next time might not be the exact same virus as the wave that they have now.
That's true. There is that mutation element that they
So
say.
hopefully we get a vaccination for the next wave.
Because there's so little about this. It's such a new virus. There's so little that they know about it or that they've researched, been able to find out for sure that there's already been talk that it's mutated 3 times.
Yeah, and there's also
They just don't know for sure.
and there is good hope coming out that those drugs that we've been talking about, the different therapies they're using, are actually working.
Yeah.
It seems like they're stopping deaths now.
Yeah.
They're learning how to combat this. America's very quick on the uptake, and I'm sure we're getting people off.
Well,
So
they're
we're not talking about a vaccine that'll eliminate it, but a treatment that'll help
Both.
curb its effects.
They
Both.
found an old malaria drug that
Yeah.
they've tested limitedly that has had so far a cure rate within 6 days. But
Yeah,
you're-
so-
it still doesn't cure the damage that's done to the lungs, but it chases off the virus.
So every day, my leader and your leader comes on and they both give a speech, right? Every day it's been like clockwork.
Mhm.
And so I watched Justin Trudeau first, and then I watched Donald Trump. And so Donald Trump did mention that today. I don't know if you guys caught his address, but he talked about a drug that actually, man was on his deathbed. The family was planning on his death. Everyone's gathered around. They fed him the drug, And within a day, the dude was doing better, and he's doing great at this point.
Yeah.
That's what Trump had said. Now, take whatever Trump says with a grain of salt, but I'm assuming that he has no reason to lie about that. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, nobody wants to rely on that yet because there hasn't been and there won't be any firm trial results on it. They're using it just like what Larry said. They're using it as a case of last resort. This guy was on his deathbed. They gave it to him. He recovered.
Yeah.
So apparently, you can't just stamp that as a cure and tell everybody here that's what you.
But it is encouraging. Though.
It's very encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, one life saved is encouraging, really.
And it's been more than that from this too. So far, they've had a really good success rate with it, and they're giving it out. They're not telling everybody to do it, but they're mentioning that they've had success with it, and that if somebody's as a last ditch effort, you want to give them this drug, it looks like they're going to recover from it.
Yeah. Now the one of the few silver linings out of this is that the COVID-19 in and of itself is not automatically fatal. It has severe effects on elderly or people who are ill with other things, and it's still rough on even relatively healthy people.
Well, it's a respiratory illness, right? So, I mean, if you have lung problems, if you had a case of pneumonia in the past, whatever it is, like my dad would have been flattened by this thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Anybody with breathing problems, yeah.
Well, there was that one bizarre story of that soccer coach that he contracted it, and when he was being tested and treated for it, they found out that he had an unknown case of leukemia. He didn't even know he had, and he took him right out. He was gone.
And let's not forget, kids aren't getting this. And when they are, it's very mild. And remember, the big problem with the kids at the beach wasn't the fact that they were going to get sick. It was that they were going to bring it home.
That's right. They're going to infect others. That'd be like me going out to a Comic-Con, coming home and infecting my 68-year-old mother,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, gee, you don't want to do that.
That's why we're being quarantined, is because we are healthy, but we're not. We're going out and we're spreading it.
We're all becoming typhoid Marys.
Yeah,
that's the possible. That's why we've got the hunker down order.
Yeah.
You have a new answer from Mark here.
Mark says, I'm already working on budget cuts in areas fans won't see. Some have been forced on me. For example, we aren't doing a mailer to schools for our film fest. Saved a little under $1,000.
You can.
Says nobody to do a mailer to. Schools are closed.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Our museum display we do annually is done this year. Budget cut saved $10K.
Wow.
Ralph says, hopefully coming out of this, we will be more prepared and make sure we have our preemptive stocks, masks, gloves, etc., in-house for virus biological warfare, right up there with the cybersecurity. Well,
you can guarantee that.
I think one thing that we're really learning out of this is how much of our manufacturing's gotten off of this continent.
That's true.
I think you're going to see a lot more manufacturing return back to both U.S. and Canada.
That's true. I think we've got to. I really hope that we end up curbing a lot of this predatory capitalism.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to be said for being self-sufficient.
Well, look, a lot of the products that we do get actually come from China, right? So there is the fear that getting things shipped from China.
Yep.
Could carry said virus.
Well, the fact is that predatory capitalism, this is a big bugaboo for me. The fact is that creates a mindset in companies and corporations where they figure if we make $6 on this product made in America, but we'll make 16 if it's made in China or Mexico, because they can throw 100 people at something and pay them 10 cents an hour, then we'll make all this great profit, and we can a lot of the production goes offshore. It's 1,000 miles away. Yeah. And you have this situation here where, everybody in America has jobs that are just about, service desking products coming in and out off the docks.
We're finding not just that, but just service industry jobs in general. We're discovering that now. I mean, with everybody, all the non-essential people out of work, we're getting a good taste of just how bad off our economy is.
Question from iNDIE Vote Radio. It is from Adam, who is in the UK. He asked, "What's our library situation there? Are books still being people still go to the library and get books. No, our library closed last week. Was it, Lola?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of libraries are closed.
Here in Michigan, the libraries went down with the non-essential call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I know our library closed about 2 weeks ago, and
now they're closed for the next 3 weeks because
Yeah.
we're in a definite, only go out unless it's essential.
right,
Yeah.
and they extended returns on books.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you can still access the library's website, but
Right.
no.
And in fact, Macomb, the library that is local to me, suggested that. They suggested you utilize their website.
Well, one thing we're seeing a lot of is a lot of museums and a lot of libraries are becoming virtual, where you can get a virtual tour. For example, of the Chicago Institute of Arts, which we were talking about going to this spring. That those plans are gone.
Michigan.
Huh?
I'm actually
Michigan.
surprised.
The Chicago Institute of Art, with the Henry Ford Museum too. Those plans are off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm shocked, Varian, that you even knew where the library was. I'm
He's done a con there.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do a con there here this next weekend. That's been
Did Varian know it was a library, or do you think it was like just a big building?
I know. You know what's funny is that I go to that library quite a bit because they had movies and video games.
But not books. You didn't go there for the books.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. She's right. Our house is a library. It's
We
unfortunate.
have
Say again?
we have books everywhere. Anything you can think of, we pretty much have.
Some of them came from the library.
Some of them did come from the library.
Oh, now
haven't gotten back
you're
there
probably
yet.
real lucky they're not going to charge you money. Hey, what you got going there, Larry? What is that?
I'm just going to show comics while we talk because I got them.
Oh, okay, good.
This is just some J. Scott Campbell sort of stuff.
Excellent.
Midtown variant stuff that we're not going to be able to buy anymore, apparently.
Yeah, you can't buy that.
We'll get a bunch of shipping envelopes, Larry. You'll be able to get them out.
Oh, I got 100 Gemini mailers right in that other room.
I'm gonna add the invite link if anybody wants to come into the chat. I'm gonna add the invite link.
Well, if you do, somebody's going to have to kick out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll move people around.
Hey, listen, why don't you kick me out? I got some stuff I got to get to.
All right. So
we're at the one. We're almost at the. We're past the 1.5 mark anyway, so we only have 30 minutes left to go. So.
yeah. But if you need to leave,
All right. You want us to kick you, Scott?
Yeah, kick me to the curb.
All right, Scott. Thank you for joining us.
Before you go, though, do you have anything that you want to push or tell our audience to look for? Any way that they can contact you?
Yeah, actually, what I'm going to be doing, I think, with all this off time I have from going to shows, I'm thinking I'm going to start using my Facebook feed, the live video feed, and I'm going to start showing some of the prints that I would normally have at a show, and try and set up some type of way to get people so they can order prints from me by seeing them on screen, the way Larry's showing this artwork here.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm thinking I may start doing that maybe sometime next week or so.
And that's Scott Rosema on Facebook.
Yeah, that's my handle on Facebook, just Scott Rosen.
ROSEMA.
ROSEMA.
For anyone out there listening on the radio.
Yeah, keep an eye out. We'll
Before I let
Mark
you go,
Hodges says he's out. He has some work to do. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mark. We
I
need
do
to have
wanna-
you on the show
I
sometime.
do want to
Yeah.
bring up something that I just found out. A little bit of breaking news. I don't want to name the person, but they said that their spouse got some paperwork from Homeland Security. They are considered critical infrastructure. The paperwork lists that the state of emergency that we're currently under is until May 28th, 2020. It could change in the future and be extended further.
That's our
So-
state of emergency. That's not our hunker down order. Our
No,
hunker
no,
down
no,
order
but-
is only for 3 weeks, but it'll probably be extended.
Yeah.
It
So
wouldn't
keep that in
surprise me
mind.
if we run until the end of May.
May 28th is yikes. All right, Scott. Thanks for
That's
joining us.
just our
sir.
state of
You
emergency.
bet. And just to send you guys off, I'll do a little panic notion.
This here is Conan 24, the first appearance of Red Sonja.
Take care, Scott.
Okay, you bet. See you guys later.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Take care.
It's all bad. But now I do want to. He's gonna turn on some hardcore Christian metal. Rock out for Jesus. I've heard some Christian metal, man. I've got some. I tell
Remember
you what,
Striper? They were like Christian metal.
I had some young some guys come by my house. They haven't been by in a couple weeks actually since this whole thing went down. But some Mormon guys, and they really are good guys. But I felt bad because I know they're big part of their what is it called, pioneering, I believe it's called, is that they have to go out and talk to people and go out.
Pioneering.
Yeah.
They were JWs, were they?
No. But I don't know if that's what is. I don't know if that's what Mormons call it as well.
No,
Well, you know, they
it's
get
not.
their bikes and
No.
they're driving cars
Ministry.
right now.
Ministry. It's their ministry. That's what
Okay.
it is.
Yeah.
Now
So,
the churches are closed, but the plate can still be filled online.
Yeah. Yep.
that is true. That is true. The plate can still be filled online. And then okay. Goodbye. Goodbye.
You're lagging.
Yeah. And she's still
That
working on
doesn't
her
sound
script
good. Yep. All right, Larry. We seen him.
too.
First appearance of Black Cat.
Now, do you guys think that when we do come back from this epidemic and pandemic, it's not an epidemic, pandemic, that we will be a stronger industry?
No,
No.
not right away.
No. You're
We're
fine.
going to bury too many bodies at first. We're going to watch a lot of people fall to the wayside. You're seeing a lot of people like fan artists are not throwing any. I'm not trying to be controversial with this one, but the truth, fan artists have trouble going online because that's where they get found the most, is when they try to sell online. And they're having trouble converting their actual art online because there are programs that sweep for it. So that is hurting real artists right now who can't make money. And that's horrible. So you're going to see a lot of people just in dire straits. It's going to be a few months before people can come back on strong. So you're going to see a lot of people when MegaCon opens, you're damn right. Everyone's going to run and try to really get to those cons to make some money because they need relief. And I think people are going to be so tired of looking at their family that they're going to run to Comic Cons.
This is that the Rob said you.
Only time will tell.
Well, you know, it's interesting that you mention that because even here in the home, I tell Lola, look, you know what? If you want, I'll hang out in the office today. You know, you can do whatever you need to do around the house. If you just need me out your face, if you're just tired of looking at me, you know, let me know because we're gonna be under each other for 3 weeks, like without break. So I mean, you know, you start looking forward to those times where you need essentials. Like, who's going to get them? Who needs to get out the house? Normally, it's her.
I think this is only going to be for a couple of weeks, and like I'm already watching people go stir crazy, and it's only been 1 week. You know, like what are you going to do when it's 2 months? You know what I mean?
I don't see it being 2 months in America. I don't know about Canada, but I think we're onto something with the warmer weather is going to help us because that's what it does.
I hope so, man.
The flu every year gets blown away by the warmer weather. But then to Randy's point, we've talked about this in the program. What do we do in the fall when it gets colder? Are we going to see it?
Well, hopefully you have like some sort of countermeasure up by then. Hopefully, I know a vaccine won't be done by then because that's still too soon. But hopefully there is at least treatments that are more developed and more refined and a little bit more explored by the time we get to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't put hate mail. It would be so much nicer if you send him hate mail at IHateRob@IndieVault.com.
I thought I'm getting the hate mail this time, dude. Come on.
As long as
You're frozen? No, you're not.
Me and Rob can be in a competition for the most hate mail. Okay.
you'll win today. Oh, boy. You'll win today. I just became their hero, and you just became the ultimate villain. See, I've sat in it.
I've been everyone's villain for
What's
since
our count?
dude.
Our current count right now on IndieVault Radio, we have it's March 23rd, 2219 for some reason. We're right now we are sitting at a balmy. No, not balmy. We're actually sitting at 25, so that's pretty cool. We got 2,500 listening right now.
Oh, 2,500?
Yeah,
I was
2,500.
going to say 25,000. Holy
No,
crap.
no,
We
no.
were at
What's the
11
most
earlier.
you've ever had?
Yeah.
We've been chasing people off. Today, 11,000.
Yeah, 11,000 today. So 2,500 right now. We actually did drop, but that's because I believe
Those
there is
Chinese
a
people,
problem.
The Chinese ran?
No. I'm noticing that the Chrome extension was having some issues, and so was TuneIn. which is another station you can find us on.
That's the next problem now with these hunker down orders is how long is the net going to last? How long is the Wi-Fi going to last?
Well, that brings up an interesting
We're
point.
genuinely going to be testing this system real
I've already
hard.
seen some news articles today where they're talking about, again, like, how we have like unlimited bandwidth for most people.
Yeah.
Now they're talking about, once again, limiting bandwidth, especially where it concerns gamers, because the internet is going to take a toll, right? I don't know if we can
Varian
break the
just lost
internet,
some of
but
his
we're
likes.
going to find out. You know what I mean? Like,
The American infrastructure is fine. I don't see America losing anything.
I seen an article that said they were asking. It was on Twitter. They were asking gamers to please stream at appropriate hours. Please play games and go online at appropriate hours. And a lot of the a lot of the tweets after that were basically telling them to get bent. So
yeah, there was also them asking for people not to stream Netflix and Disney Plus as much.
4K at 4K.
That's not happening.
To come off of 4K.
Yeah.
America. I don't know about Canada, but in America, they're asking people ever to just throttle down. They're actually asking Netflix to throttle off 4K completely.
Well, here's the thing. I'll throttle off 4K. That's not a problem. But my plan is 4K, so please make sure that make sure that I get a credit in my account. I have no problem with watching in whatever the step down was and HDR and all that stuff. You can keep it. My TV can do it. That's fine. My TV in my bedroom automatically upscales it on its own, so that's fine. I could do that too. But I'm not. No.
Hook a brother up with a coupon for next month.
Yeah. Same thing with AMC movie theaters. I paid for the Stubs program.
Oh, you got extended by 2 months.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm mainly concerned about is that I had a free soft drink and large popcorn for my birthday, and the theaters were closed. I want to be made whole.
You don't just go in there and just be like, "Listen, look, I want that. That's what I want. You're gonna give it to me."
I want that. It's mine. You give it to me. It belongs to me.
All the Aries do not get birthdays this year. My wife's pretty bummed.
Varian, just tell him you used to be a woman and now you're a man and you feel like this is against you, and then have Larry defend you.
Hey, I've already been accused of being an MRA. That's why I can't go to cons. I've already been down that road.
Yeah, you're pretty much banned from the circuit up there, man. What are you gonna do? Online is pretty much your crowdfunding. That's pretty much it for you, right?
It doesn't change.
I got some guys that are fighting for me to come back, but they're fighting an uphill battle. There's a couple of guys that are on staff for said convention that want me there, and there's some on the staff that don't, right? So I'm a mixed bag. Either you kind of like me or you kind of don't, right?
Well, okay. Well,
they're trying, but the thing is that con's not scheduled to June. Right now, they are operating like it's going to be a go-ahead. I don't think it will be. I think all the cons in my area are going to be shut down for the year.
Well, the thing is, you can tell somebody all you want that, we've both seen it. We've all seen it. Maybe fighting for somebody isn't wise. If I go out there and stick my neck out at this point and say, hey, you need to have Larry Higgins at this show, they can say, oh, okay, we'll take that in consideration, Varian. By the way, Varian's banned.
Well, there is that. But the reason why they're fighting so hard for me is because there's only a handful of creators in my city, right? And the whole idea is this is a comic book convention for comic book collectors and comic book creators. This isn't like bringing the latest movie star sort of con. This is all about comic books. And so you want to bring in every creator you have in the city that creates a comic book. There is no one in this city, and I'm going to say this right now, that has a comic book as good as Niobe. The rest of them are in black and white. The rest of them couldn't even fund on Kickstarter. I'm the only guy in this city that successfully be able to fund on Kickstarter 7 times and have a book as long going as Niobe in this city. That's why they want me there.
I just sent Lola just sent me a photo that took my mind. I'm sorry. I just had a Lord Jesus. I sent it to you, Randy. Lord Jesus. Wow.
Hey.
Sorry. Yeah. Sent it to Randy too. It was Randy is giving me an appreciation for Velma.
I'm a sucker for a good-looking Velma. Just the way it is. Dirty old man, I guess. I don't know.
Velma's too nerdy for me.
Velma's too nerdy. Rob, so I got a question for you, Rob. You have been, and this is a question that I was actually asked to ask you from a friend of mine who you don't know, but they're aware of what you do because there's Niobe. This is
wild.
Yeah. But you've been the and this is a new name, you might want to take this. She says that you have been the Rorschach of indie comics for quite a while. You know, you've not given up, even though you've been outlawed a few times. You've been villainized?
Vilified.
Vilified. Now people are coming to you saying, "Help me, Rob. Help me." Are you ready now? Are you ready to whisper down to them? No.
I'm not going to say no to anyone. This is a time that goes beyond any of us, any grudges, any things. It takes a lot. There are very few people who I would not support. Very few people I would not support.
Very few people.
Right or wrong? Right or wrong?
Very few people. And it's a list of 2 right now that I wouldn't support. And the rest I've forgiven, and they're welcome on my show. I'm going to help everyone. This is you see it in the comic books. Bad guys and good guys working together towards a goal. That's where we are. This is all goal of keeping our industry not only relevant, but growing, getting stronger, showing that we're not going to back down. Fuck the publishers who are too cowardly to keep going. Fuck Diamond for not doing the right thing and switching to a PDF platform to temporarily keep fans entertained. There's ways that you find to keep going in business. That's how you survive. The rest fail. And if Diamond doesn't fail this year, they're dead next year. People won't forget this.
I just wanna say that if you're not under a hunker down order, that and you read comics, love comics, and you have a local retailer, you need to go over there and spend a couple hours and go through their stuff and find some great things to read.
Is that a smart idea in the wake of coronavirus to go hang out in a public spot?
Well, not all of us are hunkered down. Again, Larry,
Not all of us are hunkered down.
All of us
You
should
can always be
hunkered
safe.
down, though. It should be a ghost town in every city across the world.
Should we all not go out? I mean, I guess if
You
like
can
for
always
me
wear a
personally-
mask and gloves if you're nervous, but that retailer, especially the mom and pop shops out there, really need as much support as they can get their hands on. If you have a pull list and you don't want to go into the shop, have them bring it out to you.
Well, look, there is no
But
pull list
they-
starting next week. All the new comics are done anyway.
They vary.
A lot of folks
Yeah.
have a pull list still.
You got to realize we all have it.
Yeah.
You're addressing it the wrong way. It's not that we don't all have it. It's that we shouldn't spread it to the elderly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Comic book shop, I'm going to go out on a limb here and just think the senior center hasn't shown up to the comic book center.
No, but I would also go on. and
No,
let me
but you don't want
go
to catch
a
anything
comic
and
book
take
shop.
it back to your.
I don't have that
seniors
switch. My
either.
sister works for Walmart. And a
You know-
retailer is exposed to everything anyway. And I understand this, and I understand our family is probably going to be affected by the coronavirus. I'm quarantining myself and my sister who has asthma, and my niece and nephew who has asthma because I don't want to risk them.
Yep.
So I've told them I won't go near them. I'm protecting my family by staying away from them. But right now we're not in a hunker down here in Florida. We've been told to not congregate more than 10 people. I've never seen more than 10 people in a comic book shop in my entire life outside of Midtown Comics.
Oh wow!
I think that we can safely congregate there for a little bit, and if it's busy, you walk out and you walk away. I mean, but to think that we're not all affected is kind of childish at this point.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't think we are all affected. I don't have the coronavirus, and if I go to a comic book shop and there's 20 people playing Magic the Gathering upstairs, and there's 10 people looking at the comics from New Comic Book Wednesday, and someone's walking in there with their grandpa, and someone's bringing their 5-year-old son in there, and a couple people are coughing, it only takes one person to contaminate everybody.
Yeah, but don't you have to worry because of underlying health conditions with that? What'd you say you had you said something at the beginning of the program. I don't want to get it wrong. Was it an?
I had a kidney stone infection.
Okay, so you have to take more. You're a person who needs to quarantine themselves to be careful.
Yeah, and I have other health issues as well. I mean, who doesn't really have something wrong with
A
themselves?
lot of people, this isn't affecting. I'm not even trying to be facetious enough. I've told Varian to stay home at this point, haven't I?
Yeah.
I've told Varian, do not venture out, not going near my niece, nephew, or my sister who have asthma. I understand the risks for people with medical conditions. I've also read a lot of this stuff. My age group, my son's age group, are not greatly affected by this. We will get it and have a flu. And that's not if I haven't had it already. And I've told Varian and Randy this. I think I've already had the coronavirus. I think we were exposed a lot earlier than they said we were, and there just wasn't any test to prove it. And I think that's why we're seeing it creep up in so many places so quickly. Think in Washington there were so many cases, but Florida, who has a major port, didn't have it.
Washington's a major port, though.
No, but I'm saying we're both major
And
ports.
it
We're not
is
gonna
close
have
to China. So
Yeah. Well, we get China stuff too over here in Florida. It goes on a road. I'm sorry. I think we had it here, and they just didn't want to admit it until it got bigger and it became a problem. We only started having a problem when people started dying, and then we started testing. And that's been the American way with this. We have cut off our borders. We have tried to protect the American people. I'm very proud of that. But if like Randy's saying, if I know I've been risked anyway, and then my sister's in public, then what can I do? That's it. She's at Walmart right now earning money, and what's she supposed to do? Not go to work? Hide in her.
I've been begging my work to lay me off, begging them, man. I work in a hotel. We have travelers that come there all the time. Now, granted, that's stuff like you guys, you know how you have states. Well, we have provinces, right? Our provinces have shut down the borders to other provinces. So if I travel from New Brunswick to Nova Scotia, that'd be like, going from Washington to California or something, right?
Yeah.
I have to quarantine myself as soon as I cross that borderline for 14 days, whether I have symptoms or not. That's what's going on in Canada right now. And in certain provinces, you're not allowed to congregate more than 2 people at a time, or you can get fined $1,000 by the RCMP.
Yeah, I got a friend right now. She is actually stuck because the planes aren't going anywhere. So she is stuck. She's trying to get back home to Michigan, and she is stuck in. I think she's stuck over in Texas, and she's trying to get back to Michigan. And then she's actually going to use some type of ride share service where I guess you can actually ride with people, where across state lines, which seems like a very illegal thing to do.
And even that would be risky.
But there is the other thing is and then I have another friend who she's from Michigan, and she got a job in China, and she's been in China for a while, and she came back when the epidemic started. She came back to Michigan because they had given an order to get out the city.
Yeah.
And she's got friends in Wuhan, and I'm gonna try to get her here to talk about a little bit about it, maybe on tomorrow's show, just so we can talk to her. And she says, she's got a friend there who's been able to take care of her cat, and go into the hotel. Go into her apartment and take care of her cat. But then she's got friends who cannot go back to their apartments, to their homes. They still have don't go back, into this quarantine. Yeah. And that's concerning for her. So she's her and she's been over there for 5 years now, I think. And so she's got friends and really close friends she's made. And she speaks the language now. And she's concerned. She wants to go back to she considers China home now. And it was one of the things too. I reached out and I've told you guys this before. I got some books printed over in China. From my first time trying to get books printed.
Print Ninja?
No, I use another printer. If it was Print Ninja, I may have gotten them. And I got told, hey, you're not getting your books.
Corona.
Yeah, and I was made aware of Corona back in late December, early January. Yeah. And, I was sweating then, like, guys, what am I going to do? I've got a couple $1,000s worth of books.
Well, I got to give a shout out to a company that's in your guys' area who did me a solid, and that's Comics Wellspring.
Yeah.
I first time I ever dealt with them, man. They're very quick, very reliable, and I thought maybe because of this whole deal, I might not get my books, or there might be a delay. No, they're shipping them out. Like I don't know, if they're going to remain in business or remain open for print, but at least I know I'm getting my books. You know what I mean?
Hey, no problem with Comic Wellspring, but I'll tell you this: that's normally who I print through. But I tried to do something a little bit different this time. To from a business perspective, hey, I can pay a little bit more and get a ridiculous amount of books, and I have to go back to print for a while. And it bit me in the butt. Yeah.
How's it feel to cheat?
How's it feel to cheat?
How's cheating going for you?
Oh man, I got caught, man.
Economy going to China. How's that?
I got caught, man. I shouldn't have.
Did you get?
I was reading Art of the Deal, man. He told me to go to China, and now, was that Randy Ruler?
Slapping your wrist.
Yes,
how many times have I told you? Local is always better.
Yeah, it's funny because I could have did Quebec
then again,
World.
so's newsprint. You don't listen to me on that either.
I could have did Quebec World. I could have did but we brought up something too on the show, and another person reached out to me and they asked me, is that something that I think it's fair to say. They asked me about the Marvel Essentials. I was telling everyone that those Marvel Essentials and whatever DC's version of it is, but I know that Marvel
Showcase
Essentials.
presents.
Okay. I know the Marvel Essentials are like $6 to $8 right now at Second and Charles. So if you want some mainstream stuff, I know Second and Charles isn't a comic book retailer, but they got essentials. These are big, huge compendium-like books collecting about what, Randy? Just like
25 issues.
25
at a
issues,
hit.
black
Yeah,
and
they're-
white.
It's newsprint.
Yeah.
It's cheaply printed, but it off of the black and white prints or
Yeah.
plates, I should say. But it's amazing material. You
Yeah.
know,
And
even
it's-
in black and
it's-
white, it's well worth reading.
Yeah, and for the most part, it's kid friendly. You know, because it's
Oh
all
yeah, all of that, all of those, the stuff in the essentials are, and if they weren't, they are what's the proper word? Censored. That's the right word. In order to be family friendly.
I will say this too, guys, and I want to bring this out because me and Rob have talked about this, and everybody who's got a show, we still have to pull it together. These indie guys, these indie publishers who are in trouble. We're not picking on you guys. We recognize the damage that not having your books being able to go out to stores is going to do to you.
Yeah.
So, as always, Rob with his underground indie devil and his many different outlets, because he owns the web. Indie Volt, Rebel Gaming, we will, and Rebel Gaming and Comics, we will still be here for you guys. If you need to push out your book, if you need to talk about your book, hell, if you just want to talk about the industry, if you just want to message Rob and get some, like, hey, can I do an interview? Can I talk about what's going on with my company? That's fine. I had somebody come to me a couple days ago and they said, look, do you think it's wrong that we're selling books, to people? I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I do think that you have to be somewhat aware. You can't be tone deaf at this point.
Say
again?
It's time to make a deal. Try to get
I have to admit, the constant begging sometimes gets a little annoying.
don't beg, give deals. Just that. Hey, look, I'm here for you. 99-cent PDFs. Who's in?
Ad form.
No pressure.
Yeah. Just put your content out there. Don't try to guilt anybody into buying your stuff.
Don't go to GoFundMe right now. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
In my case, I think I just fell right underneath the wire. Like I ran a campaign and everything went through about a couple of weeks before this pandemic really, struck out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to be mailing stuff, and I won't run another campaign now until I'm sure that things have kind of resorted back to a little bit of normalcy. I'm getting prepared for it, but I won't do it until I know that we're going to be good. You know what I mean?
I mean, keep in mind, and if deaths start piling up from this thing, you exercise some. Like
I have my fingers crossed for August.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
for.
I'll tell you the truth.
Well, for Florida.
August and September.
yeah, here's the thing, guys, and I've got some plans. Randy knows a little bit about them for September of this year. And Rob, I want to show you something too.
What?
I want to show you something too when we're
No.
off the air. But I've got some plans and I got some schemes and scams.
Schemes
that,
and scams.
Yeah,
Schemes and scams.
schemes and scams that I can't. People are gonna wonder what the hell we're talking about. The normies are like, why are they all repeating schemes and scams?
Schemes and scams.
What?
Schemes and scams.
Schemes and scams. Schemes and scams. I got to mess with my hair when I say it. No, he was nice to me. I can't be too mean to Edwin.
But he's actually been really good to me, man.
Yeah, but I can still look. Part of this is we gotta mess with each other. We gotta be. We got. I did a thing on my Facebook there that said, "Who wants to get roasted?" And I really went. I roasted a couple people. Best roasted tonight was mine for Nick Gibson, who said he said roast me, and I said nope. I'm not roasting you. We've been doing really well with our school shootings. So, he admitted that was a nice burn. So guys, I want to thank you.
Hold on, before you do that, I want to say two things. First off, with the school shootings, this coronavirus is nothing but good news. Second, think about it. We live in a world where WrestleMania is being predicted.
That's crazy.
But they adapted, so they're not going to die.
You don't
Yeah.
think they should have just postponed the WrestleMania show for you know?
You keep going. AEW has their wrestlers in the actual seats now, cheering on the other wrestlers. It's
So
cool.
has it been? Is it pre-taped now?
Yeah, they're pre-taping
All
now.
of them are, yeah.
So not only is it now though, now guys, we are going to get probably one of the best WrestleManias ever because now they'll be able to edit it.
Yeah.
They'll be able to- it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, but without the crowd noise and the crowd reaction, it takes away from half the show.
Like Vince is a stranger to piping in audience noise.
I don't think you're gonna see that.
No,
like,
no.
have you watched Raw and SmackDown?
Oh, I
last
have. It's weird. It's eerie.
week? Right? Like,
What's
the
really
strangest
eerie
thing
is to
ever.
see the thing live and not have the MC.
Yeah.
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 I've gone to a couple of, well, it's going to date me again, but I've seen a couple of Halloween Havocs in person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not the same experience as seeing it on television.
And you got to remember, Larry, you watch movies; those aren't live. It'll be okay. They're gonna
Yeah, but
they'll be
okay, but wrestling is a whole different ball game. You know, that's a for a lot of people that's a live experience, right?
Okay, Larry, what if you're a gamer? What if we put in the WW 4K or whatever K it is,
Mhm.
5K? What if we put in that audience into the actual live thing with CGI? Would that make you happy?
I don't think CGI would work. I don't think watching it on the WWE network works. Without the crowd to cheer and boo for the good and bad guys, without the pop for the entrances, without the oohs and ahs and the holy shit moments, you don't have a show.
I don't know. I have sex without a crowd, and I'm fine with it.
We've had cons without crowds, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I will say this, guys. We are living in a different world than what we had at the beginning of this month, even. And I can't wait to get back to only being concerned about raiding Area 51 and
Right.
those
Do it
little small
now.
things.
Now
Yeah,
it's the perfect time. They're all distracted.
yeah, we can raid Area 51 now.
They've already moved all the UFOs anyway.
I do want to bring up one other thing though. A couple weeks ago, back in January, February.
All the way back then.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys seen this article, but remember, we had found them. Not we, but I mean, especially not we, had found a mummy and resurrected the voice of the mummy because we wanted to hear what he would have sounded like. We want to hear that. And Kimosabi and and
You're talking
They-
the Canadian, right?
they had, and they said you can listen to the mummy's voice. These scientists have reconstructed his vocal cords and all that. And here is how this mummy, this 1,000-year-old, not 1,000-year-old, but centuries-old mummy would have sounded like. And they played his voice, and it was like this little sound. But
Where is it?
now, singing.
Where is it? You can't bring this story up and not give me the voice.
Yeah, we want to hear the voice now.
Jesus,
All
man.
right.
Come
All right.
on. It's upright. I got to
All
hear
right.
that. I want to hear if they're going to make sex sounds because there's some perverts in this world. Maybe they just.
Oh, believe me, it's not worth it. It was like a,
So why you bring it up, Varian, man? We're
Because-
going home. Entertain us. This isn't a normal night. We're going
Because-
we're crazy.
Because I'm telling you right now, we did that, and now look it. Now, now we're back. Now we got plagues, locust, and now they just. I got a link to this morning that we found some plaques with curses on them, and they're trying to decipher them. Like, haven't we done enough? Haven't we fucking done enough? This is and here, hold on, actually. Here, because hold on.
Just give me a copyright strike out of nowhere just for this guy's voice.
Yeah,
what
because
are they
it'll be
going
the
to do?
mummy.
Demonetize us?
It'll be the curse of the mummy. I'm going to demonetize your ass. I'm going to strike you with having to use a bridge card to eat. It's not. Is it not loading? Look at it.
Probably
Even the
not
sight.
on your system. No.
Even the sight.
Believe me,
cursed.
that's all the noise was.
Yeah, it sounded like he was the vocal track organ. Sounded like he was actually busting one off. Hold on.
Sounded like he was on a John. Yeah.
Maybe it
Let's
was
see here.
Trying to push out a big one.
that's how he died. He did the Elvis.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
how are we supposed to hear the voice with all the music?
Yeah, I hear you.
I guess they're going to stop it. I hope they do. These videos are weird.
That's it.
Kind of like me when I see some comics. Um,
That
so,
guy definitely died having sex. That's what it is. Take it all. Take it all.
so now that Mummy's voice reconstructed. Now we're facing a pandemic, and now you want to read from some ancient scrolls. Oh, I'm just gonna read this shit. And then if it starts thundering and lightning while you're reading the tablets, please, never mind. Just go ahead.
But Barry, there was an alien invasion, but then they heard about the pandemic and left. They were like, "Fuck this! I'm not getting sick."
Yeah.
I'm going home.
War of the Worlds. Randy wrote that book already. He wrote that comic. Was it COVID that did it, Randy? Did we?
No.
Was it the water in your version?
Yeah.
No, it was there was a microbe that killed the Martians in the original novel.
In the original one, yeah.
Yeah, when they start over, they figured out how to start terraforming the Earth so that they could breathe the atmosphere correctly.
Mm.
Yeah. Randy's version was they were winning now. They got smarter.
They spread the red weed. There's a red weed mentioned in the original book that has an odd smell that the book mentions. I had them mutate the red weed into the ability to take organic matter and terraform the atmosphere with it.
Ooh.
So you had the weed literally moving and eating people and turning them into red dust.
I'm not fucking with Randy no more.
Yeah.
It was a nice hook. I swear I got this close to being a miniseries, man.
Yeah.
Really close with NBC and TNT and the French Broadcasting Company.
That would have been awesome.
It would have been. Yeah, it really would have been. Because they looked at the story. It was a 5-issue arc. They said each issue was perfect for an hour's worth of television. That all they were going to do is just hand the books over to a scriptwriter and say, we want this.
Ralph says WWE is offering vast portion of WWE Network library free for all fans, starting right now, including recent Raw and SmackDown episodes, WWE Untold, more, but not WrestleMania 36.
Yeah, right. Let's see how many times you can see the same body slam with different people.
And then Nick says, voice like that, no wonder he died. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. Where can they find you? We'll start with Larry, Mr. Rebel Comics. Where can they find you, sir?
Under a rock. No, Rebel Comics and Gaming on YouTube for the most part is where I do all my shenanigans. But everything else, like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, is all at Niobe Comic.
That's right. He's there, and he's got his Niobe book. He intends to have it shipped. As long as the postal service is working, he'll get that book out to you, and that is a guarantee for Mr.
Well, mail is considered an essential service, so I think we're okay.
Yes.
Yeah, mail's considered essential service for now.
Too bad strip clubs aren't.
No.
Anyway.
It's a damn shame.
My 2 cents.
Mr. Rob Anderson, where can they find you, sir?
Everywhere. I own the internet. I mean, if you just want things
He owns the internet.
yeah, at MrAnderson.com. But if you just on any site, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm entertaining you all over the place, even the porn. Next time you're touching yourself at Pornhub, you're welcome. Just think of me.
Next thing you know, you see like Rob Anderson's face like the corner of your video, and he's like, "That's because of me."
Yeah, just like that.
Absolutely.
You hear every so often you hear, yeah.
He gets those big checks, man. Those big.
Right, that's how he makes that big money.
Yeah. Of course,
Someday he may actually afford a shirt.
Yeah. He's gonna flex out of that one pretty soon. Randy, where can they find you at, sir?
I'm on Facebook. I twit every once in a while under Randy Zim. You can find me at the Zim Geek channel on YouTube. That's ZIMMGEEK, where there will be new material up there eventually. Sooner or later, it'll be there. My subscribers keep growing, though, so thank you very much. Plus, I'm here on Indie Volt. We'll be here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. talking more independent comic stuff and hopefully a little less of the viral stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then Wednesday we will be at Geekgasm, which I might not be at, but that's Lola's thing.
Yep.
Boom.
There she is.
Only on Indie Volt Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Then again, Thursday, we're back Thursday morning with the Breakfast Buzz at 9 a.m. And all of those times are American Eastern Standard Time. So anybody out there listening all around the world, we appreciate each and every one of you deeply.
Mhm.
Thank you so
for
much for
tuning in,
listening.
especially Indie Vote Radio. Want to thank you guys as well as those listening in on Alexa. I know sometimes I don't give you guys enough credit, but
Alexa is always listening in.
yeah. Well, you can listen to Indie Vote Radio with your
Alexa?
yeah, who's probably going crazy right now because I said it, and I got like a bunch of them sitting around me right now. Yeah. So yeah, I
You're
got one
surrounded by
here.
Alexas.
Well, yeah. Oh my goodness, it's horrible. So yeah, I want to thank you guys. I appreciate you listening in. Thanks to our lovely panel. We had Scott Rosenberg,
It's okay to play
and
with,
with us
yourself.
earlier, Lola.
You need
And,
Rob Face on there instead now because he owns Pornhub, right?
Yeah.
I'm not
Then,
an egotistical person. I'm okay with appearances everywhere.
And if you're in
Thank you.
Michigan, be like this little piggy.
stay home.
Stay home.
I thought it was the other one. I've had it wrong the whole time.
That the first little piggy went to market. Second little piggy stayed home.
Son of a.
Yep.
So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, remember this.
The popcorn you're eating has been pissed in. Film at 11.
No!